go through some kind of heavy stories to start with. A follow-up on actor Timothy Busfield. He had apparently surrendered to police in Albuquerque, New Mexico yesterday after an arrest warrant was issued alleging unlawful sexual conduct with an 11-year-old twin boys he met while directing a TV series. We have a clip we're going to play. It was a video posted by TMZ. He denied the allegations, and so this is him sharing that information.
I'm going to confront these lies. They're horrible. They're all lies, and I did not do anything to those little boys. And I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it with a great team, and I'm going to be exonerated. I know I am, because this is all so wrong.
According to the warrant, parents alleged grooming and inappropriate touching began in 2022, with one child later diagnosed with PTSD, while Busfield denied misconduct. Warner Brothers Television said it takes the allegations seriously and is cooperating with law enforcement in the case. I read a little bit more about it, and there was picking up and kids and tickling and things like that. So it's a gray area. I don't know.
After all these years, let the court hash it out. I don't know how you get to the bottom of this long after it, but we'll see.
Yep, we will. And in another legal case to mention, Kiefer Sutherland was arrested in Hollywood early Monday morning after an alleged altercation with a rideshare driver in which the actor is accused of entering the vehicle and physically assaulting the man. Sutherland also reportedly made criminal threats towards the victim and was consequently arrested. LAPD confirmed that no one required medical treatment as a result of the incident. The actor was booked on suspicion of felony criminal threats, released from custody after posting a $50,000 bond, by the way.
So I'm not saying that this is the case, but Kiefer's been known to imbibe, and the rideshare, I'm sure, might have been as a result of him being not in a good way. Right. And he has also gotten into a number of fights.
Yeah. So it could just be, par for the course.
Yeah.
Don't know.
It's ironic because he's the celebrity I think about when I remember, there's no reason to drive drunk. There are rideshare programs, especially when you are a celebrity and you have money, and now he got arrested for assaulting a rideshare driver. Come on.
I just beat up my driver.
Yeah, do you remember? I mean, he's always kind of been like a little bit off the off the rails a little bit. He made a guy eat worms, and then he also made a guy...
in a cave.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It was like maggots and stuff.
Yeah, he made him eat maggots. The guy thought he was eating rice. And
oh, my God. You're talking about Lost Boys.
It was a guy named Mikey, right?
Yeah.
Chinese food.
They ordered
everybody.
Chinese food, tricked him into eating worms.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not cool, man.
I forgot about that.
Is that cave?
And eventually he got him to drink blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
All right, so we'll see where this goes. There are indications that the long-rumored feud between Sex and the City co-stars Chris Noth and Sarah Jessica Parker is moving out into the open. Noth recently shared a picture of himself working out in the gym on Instagram with the caption, F New Year's, let's go. And one commenter asked, you mean FSJP and her award, right? LOL. And then Noth responded with one word, right. His comment came just one day after Parker received the 2026 Carol Burnett Award. The seeds of the feud may have been planted in 2021 when Noth was accused by two women of sexual assault, after which Parker and the rest of the Sex and the City cast issued a statement saying that they stood with the women. So, don't know, but he was straight up saying, yeah, F her.
For a win it was the Carol Burnett Award, right?
Yeah. All right, so Sharon Stone has a new fur baby, and they met in one of the least likely of places. The puppy, named Mo by her family, was present when Stone was walking the red carpet at the Astra Awards over the weekend. The 8-week-old pit bull mix was also on the red carpet thanks to the nonprofit called Petco Love. And it's awards charitable partner. The organization brought adoptable dogs to the awards to mingle with the stars, and Stone spotted Mo on the red carpet, posed with a few photos with the puppy, and then decided the dog would be perfect for her youngest son, Quinn. And so they adopted the dog.
Hey, cutie.
In a statement to people, Stone said, "We love our adorable new puppy. She's brought a lot of joy, cuddles, and fun into our home." So they went ahead and adopted right there on the red carpet.
Steve, I watched Nobody 2 over the Christmas break. Did you watch it?
I did,
She plays like she's the henchman. Yeah. Oh, I thought she was a little over the top.
A little.
Yeah.
But the movie's over the top.
Yeah, no,
so
you're right,
it's kind
you're
of suitable.
All right, Scarlett Johansson's reign atop the box office leaderboard is over for now. The Black Widow star,
Nothing is over!
who previously held the title for highest grossing actor of all time, has been dethroned by fellow Marvel star Zoe Saldana, thanks to the latter's starring role in James Cameron's Avatar film series. So the latest film officially crossed $1.23 billion at the worldwide box office as of January 12th, which per the numbers firmly cements Saldana atop the list of highest grossing movie stars with a massive total of $16,859,193. It actually, I think this is incorrect here because it says 16 trillion, 859 billion.
I find that hard to believe.
109. No, actually, no, that is 16 billion.
That is billion.
16,859,193,100. There you go, at the worldwide box office. By the way, Johansson now sits at number 2. She has $16,439,483,784. The Avatar trilogy, in which Saldana has played the central Na'vi character, Nitri. How do you say that? Neytiri, thank you. Of course, accounts for a massive part of the cum, about $6 billion to be exact. However, her multiple stints in the Marvel movies as Gamora and her roles in 3 Star Trek movies, as well as the Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, certainly didn't hurt. Previously, thanks to her role in Jurassic World Rebirth, Johansson is catapulted from third place to first last summer, surpassing 2 of her longtime co-stars Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Downey Jr.
Think of her, Zoe Saldana's, the franchises. It's just an unbelievable run.
I forgot about Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah.
So in addition to Saldana, and I say Saldana because it's got the Enya in her name.
And that's how she says it.
Okay.
I didn't know this until last year when I heard her say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in addition to Saldana, Johansson, Jackson and Downey, Chris Pratt, Tom Cruise, Chris Hemsworth, Vin Diesel, Chris Evans, and Dwayne Johnson round out the top 10. But she is the one on top.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet subtly showed his love to Kylie Jenner by sharing a photo of her on Instagram, kind of. He shared a Golden Globe photo where fans spotted her hand helping hold his trophy. And by that, I mean the Golden Globe.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I don't mean his.
Oh, yeah. Hold that trophy. Stroke that trophy.
It's very phallic anyway.
It sure is.
The actor celebrated his first Golden Globe win for Marty Supreme and wrote, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. So tremendously grateful."
Thanks for the handy.
He won the award for Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
I wonder if he's going to take that all the way to the Oscars. I wonder.
That
right
role?
now he's on a streak. Yeah, right. He got the Critics' Choice Awards, Critics' Choice Award as well.
The couple who had dated quietly for 3 years have recently become more public. They appear together at major industry events, and he also recently publicly thanked her on stage at the Golden Globes, calling her his partner.
And they're both on Sniffy.com, Preston.
Are they sniffing? Elijah Wood is partnering with Skittles for a one-of-a-kind Super Bowl commercial that won't air on TV, but will instead be performed as a live ad on one lucky fan's lawn. Explaining the unusual concept to people, Wood said, "I'm a magical creature that can be summoned by a horn to deliver Skittles."
Yeah.
Adding that the tragedy of the character is that he gets ripped from his everyday life every time this teenager blows the horn, and he has no control over it. The actor said he was immediately hooked by the audacity of it, calling the idea of performing a live ad on someone's lawn at some random place in the United States both really thrilling and fun and a little scary. Fans can enter until next Wednesday for a chance to summon Wood on Super Bowl Sunday, when the live Skittles ad will be live streamed across the brand's social platforms. So it's kind of one of these
gimmick
things they're doing.
It sounds interesting. Let's see how they pull it off.
He was on a very weird role on the show called I Love LA. I don't think you guys will ever watch this show.
No.
It is very Gen Z forward, but he kind of like plays himself, but a very like paranoid version of himself.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of fun that he's taking these odd roles.
Yeah. And
he always has.
In Yellow Jackets, he plays a really weird character,
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah. So he loves diving into that. Fans accused the creators of Stranger Things of using AI on the on the final season after a documentary shot showed what some claimed was an open tab for ChatGPT during a script session. The 2-hour finale saw a defeated Vecna and left Eleven's fate up in the air, frustrating some viewers and even landing some to rumor that there was a secret final episode. Some fans aren't buying into the rumor that the writers used AI to make the show. I'm not either, arguing that the show and the documentary didn't clearly show ChatGPT, and the footage may have even been filmed years earlier before the AI tool became popular at all. But people are just picking little things out.
Have you watched this documentary yet?
No, it debuted yesterday.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't had a chance to see it. I'll probably watch it.
More like a weekend view for you.
I think so, yeah. Trevor Noah is going to host the Grammys for a 6th time, and it's apparently a final time on February 1st. The ceremony airs live from Los Angeles on CBS, will stream on Paramount+. The broadcast will kick off at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be the last broadcast handled by CBS before the ceremony moves over to Disney. Kendrick Lamar leads the 2026 nominees with 9 nods. Lady Gaga follows with 7 nominations. Performers and presenters have not been announced yet, so expect that information to be coming very soon.
I think he does a good job with that, hosting the Grammys. You know, he just keeps it tight.
Yep.
That's what you need to do.
And you should. Yeah, I agree.
Let the music.
There's a lot of musical performances. That's what runs that night, I think.
Shut your pie hole.
Brooks Nader is showing off her natural beauty after getting her lip fillers dissolved. In a new Instagram story, the model shared snaps of her lips pre and post filler, writing in the caption, "Had the last of my filler dissolved right before Cabo and feeling like my old self."
And then never felt better.
In another snap, she looked radiant with smile.
Okay.
Smile, please. A little more. I know it hurts.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that later. All right, with pal Daniela DiGiorgio noting her filler-free smile.
I have never seen a lip job that I actually thought looked better. And listen, I'm sure there are people out there that love this stuff. I haven't met them yet, but I have never, and you see it more in like some of the older actors and stuff. I'm like, why are we doing this?
There may be ones that you don't know have happened. I guess those would be the most successful, right?
Yeah.
The plumpiness. But it always looks a little off.
Most definitely. Last month, Brooks's younger sister, Sarah Jane, said in a TikTok that her big sis was going to have the lip procedure reversed and shared a picture of Brooks calling her a cutie girl and filler-free.
She is a cutie girl and filler-free.
The internet, of course, had something to say about Brooks's new look, especially how she looks much younger now. The Love Thy Nader star
Love Thy Nader
took the compliments in stride by resharing them on her story, replying, "You know what? F ya."
No, I thought she was going to say shaking butt.
Yeah. So you know what? Shaking butt. Kaylee Cuoco stars as a woman whose boyfriend mysteriously disappears from a moving train in the upcoming MGM Plus miniseries Vanished. According to the storyline, Alice Monroe, who's Coco, her romantic French vacation becomes a dangerous mystery when boyfriend Tom Parker vanishes from a train to Arliss, forcing her to uncover hidden truths about her past. Or his past, I'm sorry. So during a search for Tom, Alice is plunged into a web of intrigue and danger, uncovering shocking secrets about a man that she thought she knew.
She's actually good at this stuff. She's a good actress. And what was her? Was it The Flight Attendant?
That was really good.
It was really good. Yeah.
There was another one she did too with a guy. It was like her and her husband were solving a mystery. I thought that was coming back for another season.
Premieres February 1st on MGM Plus if you are interested in that. Pierre would have been happy to hear about this, or maybe not. I'm not sure. NBC is going back to classic television for an upcoming series. The network has given the green light to a reboot of The Rockford Files.
Yeah, he's
and
a big
Pierre
fan.
loved that show. It was a hit detective series. It ran on NBC from 1974 to 1980. Of course, the original starred James Garner as Jim Rockford, a newly paroled private investigator who was jailed for a crime he didn't commit. Returning to his old gig, it's not long before he runs afoul of both law enforcement and local criminals. No casting or other news about the reboot has been made available yet, so it's in its infantile stages at this, but they're planning on doing it.
James Garner was such a big reason why that show had that casual, typical detective show.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah, his delivery.
He's very laconic.
Just great.
Yeah.
Apple TV is going to air a documentary about the life and career of legendary tennis champion Andre Agassi.
I'd be down with this. I want to see this guy from his perspective.
The streamer announced multi-part doc will be directed by Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Chris Smith. Agassi was ranked number 1 in the world in men's singles for a total of 101 weeks, including finishing as the year-end number 1 in 1999. He won 60 singles titles, including 8 Grand Slam championships, and completed the rare career Grand Slam.
And then Pete Sampras came on to the scene and
Right.
And then all but erased his dominance, and that's gotta suck, right? When you are like and then all of a sudden,
It's the nature
you're
of
not.
that existence, though.
Yeah.
There's always someone waiting in the wings.
Yeah. In his personal life, he struggled with drugs, was married to Brooke Shields, and later to fellow tennis legend Steffi Graf. No premiere date has been set for the documentary series as of yet.
I mean, I just want to see how he was able to play a very sweaty game with that
big wig.
outlandish wig on his head.
That was the wildest thing, because his hair was his signature trademark.
Yeah.
And it was a wig.
It was a wig.
At some point, it became a wig. I would
right.
imagine he had real hair and it started to fall out and he started wearing a wig. But yeah, it's how did he do? That's like the swimmers before all the shaving and all that stuff, and how the hell they managed to. I mean, they were all hairy though, but this is pretty wild. Being an elite athlete at that level and having that mane on your head.
Trying to keep your wig on.
Yeah. All right, and then finally, FX's upcoming Ryan Murphy series, The Beauty, is already making history with its trailer pulling in nearly 190 million views across social platforms in just 7 days since it dropped, making it the network's most watched trailer ever. Excuse me. Released last month, the trailer teases a body horror story centered on a super drug that makes you effortlessly beautiful. And it's while hiding deadly consequences, it says. So the series follows FBI agents as they investigate deaths tied to the shadowy tech empire run by Ashton Kutcher's The Corporation.
So it's being compared a lot to The Substance.
Yeah.
I could see to some extent, which has engineered the miracle drug known as The Beauty. You can watch the first 3 episodes of The Beauty on FX when it premieres next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, we're ready to play some clips for you. The Masked Singer returns for another season to determine which celebrity is singing under an elaborate costume. And here, Jenny McCarthy sheds light on why the show is successful.
The secret of the success of the show is that it's a feel-good show. A lot of these competition shows, they'll critique, or it's negative, or you can do better. And I feel like that's that high vibrational TV where people want to have your kids and watch it with each other.
New episode of The Masked Singer is on tonight, 8 p.m. You'll find that on Fox.
By the way, Jenny McCarthy was the co-star to Chris Hardwick, remember, on Singled Out.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Yep. And we're having him on the show later this morning. Here's our next clip. Hijack puts a corporate negotiator in the hot seat with a high-stakes hostage situation on an underground train. And here, Idris Elba talks about his approach to performing in the role.
I've always just gone with my instincts. I'm an instinctual actor. There are some actors that are technical, some actors that are prepped. I am an instinct actor. If I work with an actor that gives me nothing, I might not do anything. But if I give an actor that gives me this, I might throw it back. It's like tennis.
Season premiere of Hijack, now streaming on Apple TV Plus, by the way. All right, and there you go. That's what we have in our entertainment report for you this morning. There's a sliver of clear sky on the horizon this morning, and it's going to create a nice, beautiful sunrise. So take that in, because it's going to be cloudy for the rest of the day, but it looks really pretty out our window right now. We have a few things that are taking place. As Steve said, we're going to have Chris Hardwick on the show this morning around 9 o'clock. We'll check in with our friends at Fox Good Day, Mike and Alex, see what they've got going on in the 8 o'clock hour, or close to the 8 o'clock hour, and get into a bunch of other things as well, stuff for you to win and hang out and enjoy. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Today is National Cheesesteak Day. Yes, it is. Got an email that says, "Hey, Preston and Steve Show, happy National Cheesesteak Day from Whizzle Truck. We were at the Camp Out for Hunger last November.
They're great.
And we are just about to hit our 1-year anniversary of being in business. Over 100 events in the area in such a short time. And today we're feeding some well-deserved hungry people at Pico. Couldn't think of a better way to celebrate the day. Sincerely, that is from Chris and the rest of the Whizzle team.
Whizzle faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle, baby. I'm not going to have a cheesesteak today. I'm kind of watching what I'm eating. I'm trying to hit some weight goals. I hit my little goal earlier this week, and I want to hit my medium goal by tomorrow.
So your weekend, though, you give yourself a little latitude.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, weekend I always give myself a latitude. We've got a Pudge's nearby us, which makes a great cheesesteak. So I might go by there and celebrate National Cheesesteak Day a couple of days.
It's been forever since I've had a classic.
Really?
Like a classic cheesesteak that are you can find them anywhere here. We live in Cheesesteak Central, but.
Yeah.
Calorically, it's always a tough thing to reconcile. But if you're going to go all in on the weekend, you give yourself a bit of a cheat. Yeah. I have to think now where I want to go, what I want to get.
I have a friend who's a member at a golf club, country club called Applebrook, and they make when you go to like an upper level where they use really quality meat and stuff like that, it's to die for. So I'm going to have to dive into one soon.
I don't think about calories ever. Like I really, I don't.
I got you.
But I'll probably do a cheesesteak every probably 5 or 6 weeks or something like that. Yeah, and I have Thunderbird is the place that I go to. That's just
it's a wonderful place. Everyone has a great time. We cut the meat thinly.
Yeah, it's slightly thinned or thin sliced.
Thinly sliced. No.
Thin slicely.
Thinned slicely.
And our chefs, Ert and Bernie, will take care of it.
No, it's Bernie and Ert.
Bernie and Ert, please.
But there is, right down the street from them is Delco Steaks, and they are making waves in Delaware County as far as cheesesteaks are concerned.
And just because they're so tasty?
Yeah.
They have a wave machine.
They do have a wave machine. No, no. Their approach to the cheesesteak is...
They're redefining it?
No. It's more akin to like your... Pat's, Geno's, Jim's, it's
okay.
It's just real good quality stuff.
Sometimes if you just make it in the classic sense, with, as Preston was saying, the best ingredients, you become a thing.
But they're also not far from each other, so you really can't go wrong. But so National Cheese, is it National or is it Philly Cheesesteak Day?
Today's National Cheesesteak Day. That's how it's been quantified. I don't think it's National Philly Cheesesteak Day.
So there'll probably be some sort of ceremony at Arlington or something.
I told you when I see the words Philly cheesesteak, I'm like, that's not the real deal. No. Just immediately I think of that. But whatever.
Yeah. There's a place that Casey's recommended to me that I still haven't been. It's called Nick-Fil-A. I think they have 2 or 3 locations at this point. There's one in Paoli, but I've heard that their cheesesteaks are banging, and they use, Preston, like really good cuts of meat, and it's like a standalone kind of steakhouse. It's not at all like a fancy place. I think the one then in Paoli used to be like Roy Rogers or something. But anyway, I want to check that out.
Nick, and you just started talking about variation and Wilson's.
Oh man, they were here yesterday.
Yeah,
apparently they stopped by and had some goodies.
Meatless. They're
you like the Impossible one, yeah.
Holy effing
it's
hell!
Good too. It doesn't taste like a regular cheesesteak. It's something different.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
It's funny, Nick. I've recommended Nick-Fil-A, but I've never actually been. I've only ridden my bike past
son
it.
of a
Wait
bitch.
a minute.
No,
you'll recommend places you've never been to?
No, I didn't actually recommend. I probably just asked if he's ever been because it's Nick.
No, you said it was the best place you'd ever been.
That's
you were
a
like,
lie.
I love it so much.
You will eat nowhere else but this place.
But there's
it
only
looks really good from the outside.
2 locations that I know about. One is in Paoli on Route 30, and then there's another one right on Beach Avenue in Cape May.
Now I'm trying to think if I've ever recommended a place I've never been to before to somebody. I'm sure I have at one time. And you need to go there.
Great.
Never been there, but you need to go there.
I did on this show one time.
What
had recommended Flex ice cream in the Villas. And then somebody was like, you ever been? I'm like, no, I haven't, but my cousins have been there.
My cousins have been there. We don't, we do know.
But I have been there since.
All right.
You ever recommend a movie that you haven't seen?
No.
I probably have. But hey, I heard great things.
Yeah. So anyhow, thank you to Whizzles for getting in touch with us this morning. And National Cheesesteak Day. So get out and celebrate and enjoy, if you will.
There's a wealth of places to go to.
We're very lucky. We had the one guy who had rated 1,000 of them. You
Right.
remember, took what, 4 years, 3 years, something like that, and eventually got through all of them. And I did have the full list printed up here, and I'm like, what am I doing with this? I'm never gonna.
What are you going to will it to your kids?
Yeah, I'm never gonna go through this. I eventually threw it away, but there's some good suggestions there.
Well, sometimes I fall though. Again, it's been years. Well, no, I've had the Wilsons, so that's still a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I amend my statement.
Yeah.
Speaking of eating, I saw this interesting survey. It was done in the UK, but could definitely be tailored to pretty much anywhere. It's a new survey of 2,000 adults, and they asked them about their secret snacking spots.
Secret snacking spot.
Okay, and so, if you're Kathy, you eat nowhere but the kitchen or the dining room.
Oh, like actual locations in your house?
Yeah.
Right.
Sneaking.
You will not bring
yeah.
food upstairs. You will not hide stuff under the pillow.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Do you have to? You have to eat in the kitchen?
Wait, but hold on. Why are they secret?
Okay.
Oh, well, go ahead. Explain.
I had a secret snacking spot.
Why?
And I do too.
I'll explain in a little bit. But you go ahead.
Sometimes we won't have sweets in our section of the house, but my mom always does in the basement. So
Okay, so you sneak
I
down
will
there?
sneak down there.
Okay, all right,
and it's
all right.
even better if she's not there.
I got it.
Because then I will go absolutely crazy.
Then you could put a bra on.
That's stealing is what that is.
Does she come home and she's like, what happened?
No. She has more sweets than she can handle. I mean, she's like a bird anyway.
He's like Norman Bates in the basement.
That's funny.
Casey's there with the wig on, sitting in the rocking chair, eating Charleston chews.
I mean, Kathy, last night, for instance, I finished my dinner. I worked out hard yesterday, okay? I ran. I did a whole bunch of stuff. I earned it. Okay. So I opened my freezer.
Let's neutralize it.
Okay. I opened my freezer, and the ice cream that I was expecting to be there was not there. And we had no other sweets in the house. And so I snuck on down to my mom's, and I grabbed some. And it was like leftover Christmas candy, a cookie or two.
Or two.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Some of her medication.
Just a little bit.
All right, so
She's not going to use all this amoxicillin.
the secret snacking spots, and feel free to share yours if you will, 215-263-WMMR. So there's 20 of them, and number 20 on this list was my secret snacking spot inside a freezer room at work. So when I work,
Oh my God!
You too?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
At McDonald's.
Yeah, when I worked at York Steakhouse, that was the name of the place. I was the food bar attendant. I've told you guys this before. I would, because I wore an apron. Okay, and it had an apron, had pockets on it,
Big pockets.
and I would grab stuff from the food bar and slip it in my pocket.
So it's stuff you shouldn't have been eating.
And then I would go into the freezer and eat it.
No,
That was my secret.
So that's why you have to sneak.
Yeah, you're hiding from
You're
one.
hiding
There's still an application, though.
Not
at
all
home.
of them. Some of these are other than hiding. But
If you want to hide, if you're going to go, you have something that you want to eat out of your significant other's eyesight,
right.
And that's really what it is.
Like in the movie, This is 40.
This is 40.
Remember, he's out over the
With the-
trash
with the
can.
muffins.
Oh, and what? Yeah.
eating muffins and things like that.
When you have
So she
children,
doesn't know.
When you have children, they are like seagulls, Steve. If a seagull sees another seagull eating a French fry, it flies immediately over there.
Right.
So if you
don't want to share.
if you're eating anything that is slightly delicious and your kids see it, they're like, "Well, what is that? And can I have some?"
By the way, going back to you, Casey, a texter says Casey's mom probably buys extra snacks for him.
Isn't that sweet?
Because
Probably
she
does.
knows he's down there doing it.
Going to put the rat poison in these.
The walk-in freezer at McDonald's was a really good hiding spot for a number of ideas. One was sneaking food. The other, like if it was just a hot day in the summer, you could go in there. And the door was so damn heavy that if anybody was ever going to like come in and check in on you, you got a warning. So if
you had time.
You had time. So if you're like shoving, a few extra nuggets down your gullet,
Did it have a release on the inside?
you could, in theory, get locked in there.
Oh boy!
And so I don't think anybody would ever die inside one of those bad boys, but like you could definitely get locked in because the lock, Steve, was from the outside. So if somebody slipped a little pin through the handle, you could get stuck inside.
He had nuggets in his mouth.
All right, so other secret sneaking snack spots are in the basement. In a closet.
I don't eat in the basement.
Who's going in their closet to eat?
I probably. Yes, I guess.
Well,
there are people who will
why?
go. There are people, like Casey said, in some cases, depending on the size of the closet, you don't want to invite the troops to join in. This is my thing. I'm going to eat it by myself, and I don't want to be discovered.
Or if you are sneaking it, there's also another movie scene from Parenthood.
Yeah.
Where Rick Moranis' wife.
Oh, yeah.
He's very controlling over what they eat, and because we need to stay in shape.
She
and all
can't
this.
stand
And
it.
whenever she would get pissed off, she'd go and she had this shoebox filled with Twinkies and things like that, and she would slip off and go eat them.
Well, there's a mindset too. Like I can, again, I'm not doing it so clandestinely, but I will be in the kitchen. And
So we're going to get with Chris Hardwick later on this morning, 9 o'clock hour. He's going to be checking in. We've got Fox Good Day happening. We have, big friggin' deal. I want to mention this a few times. I want you to take advantage of it because it's a open and closed lift ticket to Camelback Mountain for just $40 right now. So you can go to WMMR.com/deals. Always check that weekly. Maybe something really cool there. Really inexpensive for you. That's why we cater that to you. So just heads up. And right now, though, these have been burning a hole in my pocket. We have not done Survey Says, and I don't know if we've done it this year yet.
Oh, man. A whole year.
Time to get into it. I have a few stories to share with you. Surveys that are done regularly, daily throughout the United States. And we're going to start with this one. It was a poll of 2,000 adults, and they asked about the most common reasons that New Year's resolutions will fail on you. Okay, so 40% of people polled set a resolution for 2026. If you just isolate Gen Z, it's 71%.
There you go.
Which is the highest of any age group. Mine is standard. It's lose weight. It's be more healthy, and I did that again this year. That's the only one. I can't think of... Maybe years past when I was a smoker, it was to quit smoking or something like that. But that's always been the same one for me.
The survey is of reasons why they fail.
Reasons why these fail. But I just started off with people that set, resolutions in the first place.
I think a lot of people set unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
I think that's it. They don't do it as incrementally as they should.
Right.
Maybe reduce smoking or try that way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just go hard line, and that inevitably fails.
More than half of them, 52% surveyed, believe that New Year's resolutions are an effective way to reach goals. 2/3 of resolution setters claim to be all in and totally committed to achieving what they set out to do. And another 26% admit that they are not fully committed. Did you guys set any for the year?
No,
Okay.
I haven't set New Year's resolutions in a long time.
Marissa?
I didn't think of it as an effectual New Year's resolution, but the other day I started to think I'm going to once a month try to actually catch up with somebody who I say, let's catch up soon.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
somebody I haven't talked to in a while.
So not one of the classic, the smoking and
Losing
drinking
weight,
and
drink,
for
workout
eating better,
more.
exercise,
Yeah.
sleeping around.
Yeah, having sex with multiple partners at the
That
same
you don't even
time.
know. Group orgies.
Yeah. Those are attainable goals, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? So I didn't until. So I'm on an app called Strava, and it tracks your fitness.
Right.
Thing. So when I work out, I port that over to my Strava app. When I go for bikes and runs and swims and stuff like that, that all goes to my Strava app. And then at the end of the year, it kind of gives you your year in review. And so I saw how many days active I was last year, and I want to just beat that.
You want to beat okay?
Yeah, and I had a pretty active year last year, considering I had this thing that happened to my neck at the end of the summer that kept me out of the gym, it kept me off my bike and all that stuff. And despite losing, a good month of activity, I still did pretty good. So I want to top that. I didn't go into the new year thinking, I want to do this or that. But then when I saw that and that came up, I was like, okay, yeah.
Something achievable.
Something achievable.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan Shuttleworth, any resolutions?
Man, last year was tough enough. I just want to go into this year being like, all right, just be a better person where you can and just kind of, coast into it. Just, try and get through it unlike last year.
That's a healthy one. All right. Most New Year's resolutions fail. So why do we break them so easily? These are the most common reasons. So per the survey, and I'll work up to the top one. Feeling too unhappy or fed up, finding it too tiring, realizing that you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Finding it too boring, whatever your resolution is.
The smell of freshly baked cookies.
Number 6, working our way to number 1, is forgetting why you were doing it in the first place.
Why am I doing this again?
Yeah.
Number 5, not fitting in with your routine. Number 4, not seeing results quickly enough. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have had that happen to me before. It was 2 years ago where I wanted to go into a weight loss regimen, and I worked hard for like 2-3 weeks, and I didn't see any results, and I'm like, oh.
What am I doing this
And
for?
then I just fell off.
Yeah.
I fell off of it. It was stupid. And the following year, I got it together, and I soldiered through and realized that sometimes it's a slow start. And
I've been doing
eventually,
this for 4 hours, and I have seen no results.
and eventually you get to some momentum. Number 3 is you find it too difficult to do. Whatever agreement you made with yourself was just too much.
Like sleeping around.
Number 2, giving in to temptation, obviously. And number 1, just not feeling motivated to stick with it.
I do like the idea of points on the calendar that are definitive. Okay, I'm going to start now.
Yeah.
I think,
Me too.
And obviously,
it helps me.
the year rollover is a perfect time to do it.
In years past, I have definitely seen new people at the gym come New Year, and whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, I hope I continue to see you all year long, because I have been that person who showed up, January 2nd, never on January 1st, and then stopped going like a week or so later. But this year, I want to say,
People hanging in there?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a whole lot of new people. No.
Okay.
Steve, I like the idea of the date on the calendar. I need certain goals to keep me motivated. I'm a list maker too. If I make a list every day of the things that I want to achieve, and I get great satisfaction in crossing that off my list.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing with my goals. I will set incremental goals. I'll have a big goal in mind,
right?
But I have
your way towards it.
Yeah, I have little milestones along the way that I like to hit, and I'll call them small goal, medium goal,
right,
big goal, and then sometimes I even have an ultra goal that I'll put on there, and then I'll give myself a time frame and try to hit those marks, and it helps.
Yeah,
it helps me stay on track.
You have something to stay on. So, and also reward yourself.
Yes.
If you're losing weight, reward yourself with alcohol.
Yeah,
please.
Right.
Yeah.
Heavily.
But that's why
I'm going to drink this whole bottle.
That's why I signed up for things like sprint triathlons or 5Ks or even the Bend to the Shore. When I have something that, especially something like Bend to the Shore, which is that it's a long ass bike ride,
or the Olympics.
If I have that on the horizon, then that gives me a reason to get on my bike or get on into the gym. And also anybody who is, there's I don't think it's a book, it might be an app, but it's called Couch to 5K. So if you've never run or anything like that, it is a great tool to use to just get out and get active and do a 5K. So if you see a 5K in your future, Phillies do a 5K in March, and if you see something like that, sign up for it and then get the app Couch to 5K, and it'll kind of coach you along.
Steven, you talk about giving yourself rewards. That's key. I have daily rewards.
Sure.
But I don't get to take advantage of those until I finish everything on my list. And then when I'm done, I can smoke a little weed.
So that's for me is the intermittent fasting. I hit my mark, and then I make sure. Case, I read a book that's really good called 5K to Couch, which is awesome. It's a lot easier, I found, and I've hit all my goals.
All right, another survey topic for you. This is a survey of 5,281 U.S. adults, and the question was, where do you most often dispose of your fingernail clippings?
Oh, trash can.
Trash can?
Yeah.
Okay, so you generally do it over trash can.
I try and do it over the trash can.
Steve, toilet. Marissa, do you have a spot where you deposit your clippings?
Toilet.
Yeah, I'm toilet as well. Ryan, where do you get rid of your clippings?
Trash can for me.
Trash can, okay. Number 1 on the survey is trash can.
Hey!
In fact, overwhelmingly so. 73% of people dispose of their clippings in trash cans.
We're the loose cannons.
We are.
Yeah.
But we're second. So not too bad. But only 7% of people use the toilet.
You know, though,
it's just convenient.
Dispose of poop in the trash can.
Wow, that's radical.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I try to clip my fingernails. The toenails, think it's done at the salon. You know what I'm saying? But my fingernails, I tend to clip.
I clip mine at home.
But if I don't clip my fingernails, what I'll wait to do is wait for them to get soft in the shower and then bite them because they come off better that way. And then I'll do them in the shower.
So you just chew them up in the shower?
So, not all the time, but if that's so the only two places for me: trash can, shower.
Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot the other place I put them, behind the couch.
Behind the couch. Yeah.
Rochelle loves that. Did you just flick your?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been back there?
Why are you hanging out behind the couch?
That's when I'm. But I'm not actively clipping. That's when I'm like I'm gnawing on my nails and we'll flick them back.
What about
there.
the scabs?
The scabs are back there too. Same spot. No problem.
It's a no man's land behind your couch.
But the toenails, Casey, I know you go to a salon for your toenails. I do it old school.
I put my foot up on the toilet seat and I clip the toenails.
So I do it while I'm sitting on the toilet, maybe taking a dump, and I will clip the nails. I'm knocking two things out at the same time, and then I just scoop them up off the floor and throw them into the toilet.
So I put my foot up on the toilet seat and I have the
trash can behind you,
me, and I take a dump into that.
Makes sense.
Press, you are not down with going to get pedicures, right?
No, I don't like it.
All right.
I had one time. I hated it.
Because my pedicurist, she left, but she traveled.
What did you do to her?
I didn't do anything to her. She just wasn't happy with where she was, and now I'm going to have to go up to your neck of the woods because she's in freaking Lansdale now.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to travel that far?
I told her I would. Not all the time. I cannot go to. She's at Hollywood Nails on Main Street in Lansdale. So
she's your gal.
She's my gal. Listen, anybody who lives in that Lansdale area, if you want to get a great pedicure, ask for Yen. Her American name is Lisa. Ask for Yen or Lisa at Hollywood Nails on Main Street in Lansdale. But
she does your manicures and your painting and all that stuff.
I don't do manicures, pedicures.
Pedicures.
Yeah, she does all that. But she's really listen. I get.
Why won't you do a manicure if you're doing?
I've done manicures because I don't need them. You know, and I really like the foot massage at a pedicure.
Okay, it's the foot massage thing that really draws you.
But then also. I get ingrown toenails on both of my big toes, and Yen really gets in there.
You son of a bitch.
It hurts, but it's like a weird pain that I like at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but they make you cry, pussy.
And I know we've talked about it before, but we should revisit it. You know, the distance you will travel for a service.
Yeah.
From an individual who is, either it's a haircut or something along those lines, but it's worth it for you.
You've got your
reason.
person.
Yeah. So the lady who cuts my hair with regularity, her name's Jackie, and she lives in. I'll give you her exact address. No, she lives in Westbrook Park area, and she used to cut this guy's hair who was a priest at Holy Cross, which is right there. He's now in Vineland, New Jersey, and he travels from Vineland to Clifton Heights.
You go with what
to get
you
his
know.
haircut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, number 2 is toilet, where you deposit your fingernail clippings. Number 3 is outside. Number 4 is in the sink. Number 5 is I leave them where they fall. 3% said that.
Very cavalier.
6% said I never clip them. Wow. Okay.
Oh, some people.
Do you know I get rid of my old mail in the toilet as well?
Wow.
Yeah.
How long does it take for a nail to decompose? Right.
I don't know. I you would think a while.
Right.
It's keratin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it sticks around for a long time. Some 7%, 2% said somewhere else, and 8% said they're not sure. I don't know what I do.
forgot.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. Another survey. This was a poll of 2,000 smartphone users and owners. 47. This is the top phone habits that people want to kick. They hope to kick. So 47% said they really want to spend less time on their phones in general this year. The average person spends 3 hours a day on their phones. Wow. And for Gen Z, that jumps to over 5 hours.
Stop and think about that. Stop and think about how connected we are now, and it just makes you feel terrible if you find yourself doom scrolling. It just sucks the life out of you.
But part of it too is like a text. Like if you get a text, are you supposed to stop everything you're doing and respond to that, or can you prioritize that and say, I don't want to be on my phone right now, I'll get to that later?
Yeah.
It's a toss-up.
I want to get off my phone and get onto my computer and visit Pornhub.
Well, and scrolling is part of it as well. But yesterday, we had Crystal Marie on, and she posted pictures of being here in the studio and everything. And I went through and I looked at them, and then I started looking at the comments, and she was responding to every single comment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, That is a lot of time.
It
That
is.
is a lot of time out of the day. Now, she's got a different work schedule than we do.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe I would have more time if I was doing comedy at night and pretty much my days were kind of open.
But also, that is kind of work for her, right? So
Yes.
when you engage
That's a
with
good
people
point.
who engage with you, it helps gain,
Followers,
followers, and all that stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't really respond to the ones if I don't post that often on social media, but I posted one the other day. I got a lot of responses. They're great. I did read them, but the idea of going through and responding to every single one is too much of a time suck.
Well, and for her, it could sell tickets.
Yeah.
If someone's like, "Oh,
Sure.
you're in town," you respond personally, that person's going to go out and buy tickets.
So according to the survey, nearly a third of respondents, 31% admit that they check their phone within 10 minutes of waking up every day, and another 30% do it most days. Almost a quarter, 23%, have already tried to do a digital detox, but that lasts less than a day
I wonder
for 18% of them.
in the pecking order of things and habits to kick, and we know how a nicotine habit compares to a heroin habit and an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Where does an addiction to tech, to your phone, where does that fall?
Well, so for me, I know it's harder when I'm here, but like when I did my trip to the Grand Canyon, when I had no choice, there was no cell signal. It was so easy and it was so refreshing.
Sure.
But here where I don't have that,
That's when you got
ripped away from me.
lost and were able to survive on some beans. you kept
Thank
in a
God I put the
flashlight.
beans in the flashlight, Steve. Yeah, I told you that story.
It's a great story.
So these are the top 10 habits that people hope to kick in 2026. Number 10, using their phone to check the time, then getting distracted instead of just wearing a watch. Number 9, scrolling on the toilet. Number 8, checking their phone during conversations. Yeah, that's bad. Number 7, downloading apps that they never use. Number 6, they want to kick the habit of forgetting or taking a long time to reply to messages. I do that too, especially if I get a message and I'm in the middle of something. I get a text message, I glance at it, and I'm like, this is going to take more time than I have right now to answer this, so I'll get back to it later. Then it falls down the scroll, and you lose it, and you never respond to that person.
It's the weirdest thing. A lot
Yeah.
of times, if you don't hear back from me, it's because I really wanted to get back to you.
Me
If
too.
that makes any sense, because it's fallen into that hole.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I want to spend some time with this, and but then other cases, it's like, okay, I'm trying to train myself to let me just do it right now, because if it will go into oblivion if I don't get to it.
I'm guilty of that. I want to give this person more time, so I'll do it later. I have 1,240 unread text messages.
Unread text messages.
Yep.
Nah, I like to keep mine at 0.
Good for you.
I have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So I'm good on that. Now my mail
Yeah, that's
in
a
my
different
mailbox. Let me see where that is at. That's currently at 321,862.
Jesus. All right. Opening things that people want to kick as far as their phone habits go. Opening social media as soon as they wake up.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Don't do that.
Number 4, constantly checking for notifications even when none are there. So if I post something, that's me. I'm like constantly going back. All right, how many views? How many likes?
You are.
How many blah, blah, blah? Who did it? Yeah. But that lasts for like a day, and then the post is old. But so much so that I hate that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I hate
You
the
hate
fact
yourself.
that I'm going back and I'm trying to hit, I'm that rat hitting the feeder bar for the heroin,
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
All right, be honest. How many times a day do you check in with your jerk mate?
Yeah. I've never heard of jerk
No, never
before.
heard.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just thought,
Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate?
number 4, constantly checking. Yeah, I already have that. Number 3, never cleaning your phone, meaning cleaning out.
I think putting it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
I
means.
think actually cleaning the phone with the screen and
Does that mean that? Okay.
that's what I would perceive it as, unless they're talking about cleaning out apps.
Oh, did you ever see those videos where they'll like get the dust inside the like charger port and things like that?
I've seen
it's
that
very like ASMR for me.
Well,
Okay.
they do like a wax type of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
It's almost like a rubbery,
Or like a putty or like a glue.
like a gelatin.
Yeah.
Taking their phone to bed and scrolling until they fall asleep.
I never do that.
I don't either.
No.
And then number 1, taking up storage with duplicate or unneeded photos. These are the things that people want to kick.
Yeah.
Or the habits they want to kick with their phones.
Do you remember years ago, before the cell phones and these kind of things, you get a hotel room that had a phone in the bathroom. And it was such a wild thing. Like, I think I'm going to call somebody while I'm taking a dump.
I actually had this thought yesterday. I went to Acme to get some milk, and as I was walking out, I was thinking about those a-holes that would go into the supermarket, and they would grab a gallon of milk and then just smash it on the floor, and they would do that for views on whatever, and they thought it was so funny. And I just think that those little pricks are, what a-holes, man. And somebody else is going to clean that up. And then I was like, oh, my God. If I would have had a cell phone in 7th and 8th grade,
you probably would have done
and
that.
in high school, I would have been an insufferable a-hole.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, think about how insufferable I am now.
Well,
you know,
if you're an attention whore, and look at all these people that do this stuff.
Yeah. All right, I have another survey, and this one actually came up in conversation the other day, and we didn't get a chance to explore it. It has to do with crowdfunding. And it has obviously emerged as a convenient way to get help, covering costs for emergency treatment or, sports equipment, anything in between. But there are some opinions on crowdfunding. And there was the survey that they did. Number one, they found out where most crowdfunding donations go to. And the most go to medical causes. 39% are for medical expenses or healthcare causes, or at least that's what's being presented.
Right.
17% for a memorial or funeral. 10% for groceries or daily necessities. 8% veterinary expenses or animal causes. 7% natural disaster relief or for an individual or community. 4% for equipment or materials for youth sports or activities. Number 3, education expenses or causes. These are crowdfunding. And 3%, a life event such as a wedding. But the poll shows that Americans, including crowdfunding donors, have some doubts about whether people who crowdfund really need the money and use it responsibly. Most U.S. adults don't have high confidence in the crowdfunding sites. That crowdfunding sites charge reasonable service fees or that campaigns generally reach their goals.
I think we've talked over the past number of years. There have been so many GoFundMe scams and other crowdfunding scams and you hear about them all the time that I think reflexively people go, all right, what is this?
Yeah. I remember back in the day before crowdfunding was a thing this is basically before the internet. I had friends that basically this is crowdfunding, all right? Yeah. They would crowdfund to get money so they could get a beach house for the summer. And the way they would do it, because you got to think these are, probably 19, 20, 21-year-old people, they would get like a fire hall, and they would hold a beef and beer. And, for $10, and you got to think, like, as a, young person, all I want to do is just like go somewhere and drink beer out of a red Solo cup or whatever. So
to me, that's different in tone, though.
I know that, but
you're actually because what you're doing is your money's going to the actual circuitously purchasing your beef and beer.
Yeah,
a GoFundMe is just here you go.
Yeah, Casey was saying this is before the days of crowdfunding,
right.
Yeah. And wouldn't have blinked twice. At what the money was going to. You just,
But would you ever think to go to could you do a GoFundMe? Hey, me and my boys want to
get a beach house.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I bet you people do though.
Yeah.
The amount of things that'll end up in crowdfunding.
Right.
GoFundMe type. What's the other site that competes with GoFundMe? It's similar name, but anyway, people put up very frivolous things.
Yeah, well, so when the main thing that made me think about that, Steve, is Preston listed like weddings in there. That's not on anybody else to pay for to crowdfund and pay for somebody's wedding, and it's not necessarily on me to make sure that you get a cool ass beach house, for an entire summer.
So I just Googled GoFundMe beach house.
Okay.
And somebody is saying save Nanny's home in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh. Well, there you go.
This family
You're saving Nanny's home.
Well, this family can't afford the house. So they're trying to raise money to collect. They've gotten almost $11,000 out of $24,000 is their goal.
That's a little different than renting a beach house, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Give us a place to go this summer.
Participation still lags behind more formal avenues for giving, though. Overall, the share of Americans who said that they had given to a crowdfunding campaign was far fewer than the roughly 7 in 10 who indicate that they made a charitable contribution in 2025. It's just through the crowdfunding, a little less participation. These efforts lend themselves to small gifts. The AP NORC poll found that 6 in 10 crowdfunding donors gave $50 or less, when they last supported a campaign. The lower donation sizes underscore the importance of strong personal networks. Without offline connections or large social media reach, campaigns can face difficulties reaching the critical mass of small dollar contributors necessary to meet their goal.
When you donate, if you have donated, do you go anonymously? Do you put your name up? How do you go about it?
It depends
Yeah.
on what the event is, but we have done anonymous donations before. But for the most part, I'll put my name down.
One of my little gripes about GoFundMe is I wish that you could edit what your name is.
Yeah.
So I wish that I could write like from the Magnotta family or something like that.
To
Because
be true,
sometimes
you have to go with your straight up name.
when you're donating it, it's weird if it's just coming from you.
So when I post or make any donation, I always put it from the Magnotta family, which is a weird.
That's good.
I don't know why.
That's the name on your Venmo or whatever it is. I love it.
So there are broad doubts about whether the crowdfunding sites charge reasonable service fees or not. The poll found that only 44% of U.S. adults are at least somewhat confident that the sites charge reasonable service fees. I don't even know what the service fees are. I've never set one up, so I don't know. More than half of U.S. adults were at least somewhat confident that people who raise money through crowdfunding sites really need the money, and about half were at least somewhat confident that they use it responsibly, but only about 1 in 10 were very or extremely confident. So
that's a low ratio.
That is. All right, one more maybe?
Yeah, just one more.
Okay. So I'll try to get through this quickly because we have to go on Fox Good Day. But this was in 1998. Gallup in USA Today called up just over 1,000 Americans on landlines and asked them for their best predictions about a year in the distant future, 2025. So they had to make predictions. This is an old survey.
I love this. Yes.
And they're now.
When was the survey conducted?
1998.
Okay.
So a polling archive
71 years ago.
Maintained by the Roper Center at Cornell University.
Run by Mr. Roper.
And Mr. Furley was the president at the time. So here's a look back on some of them held up. Some were surprisingly prescient. Most Americans predicted that over the next 27 years, the country would have elected a black president, gay marriages would be legal and commonplace, and a deadly new disease would have emerged. Most people in 1998 correctly doubted that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans or that alien life forms would have made contact by now. So they got those.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, they got those correct. Here are some of the other ones. 68% believed that physician-assisted suicide would be commonplace. It's become more commonplace.
Yeah.
67% said an environmental catastrophe will have occurred. 66% said that the country would have elected a woman president. That hasn't happened yet, obviously. 64% said illicit drug use, such as marijuana and cocaine, would be commonplace. You got the marijuana part right.
Absolutely.
61% said that people would routinely live to be 100 years old. Not quite that.
Yeah.
60% said that AIDS would be cured.
Well, we're there.
Pretty much happened.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, they stopped. This is the last year for the AIDS walk.
Yeah. And the AIDS fund is over. Yeah. So 59% believe that cancer would be cured by now. They're making inroads, but that's not, obviously, that hasn't
Just reading
happened.
an article that there are more people surviving cancer now than ever before.
I'm sure, yeah. This 56% said that most stores would be replaced by shopping on the internet.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of that has happened.
Getting there, yeah.
52% most people said most people would do their jobs from home.
A lot
of that has happened. And 51% said the United States would be involved in a full-scale war between then and now, 1998 and now, 1998 and now. What they thought would be less likely to happen. Do I have time?
Yes.
Okay. 38% or 67% that cars would not be largely replaced by mass transportation. So that hasn't happened. Cloning of humans would be commonplace.
Not the case.
But 60% said no, it would not be the case. 65% said that most people would not be self-employed.
What about unequivocal confirmation of space gorillas?
That wasn't asked.
All right.
Although it said 68% believe that humans would not have or received contact from alien life forms by now.
So it falls under that category.
Yeah. Most believe there are a few bright spots in Americans' outlook. Most believed that race relations would improve and that medical care would be more available if less affordable. Well, neither one of those has happened. And also, they didn't think that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans, but they got that right. So it's kind of an interesting peek back and look at 1998 and what people thought would happen by 2025. And that's your survey.
Yeah.
Wrapping that one up right there. We got to go live on Fox Good Day. We're going to check in with Mike and Alex in a moment. And when we return, we'll also have some bizarre file stories. A little later on this morning, Chris Hardwick is going to be joining us. So we'll take a break and come back. Make sure you stay with us.
Out of the doorway, standing, because if you stand, you can turn around quickly. You can put it in the refrigerator. You can hear someone getting up. Yeah. So you got to stay mobile. You got to stay on your feet and ready to respond. Yeah. And so I'd say right in the kitchen, on the counter, facing the wall that goes into the den. So it's my clandestine spot. I don't know if it's a secret spot.
So when you're the patriarch of a family and you come home and let's say you've stopped at a McDonald's or a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, sometimes there is the expectation that, if you stop there, you probably should have gotten us something.
Us.
So us being our children or your spouse or whatever. So I will, a lot of times, finish my food before I even get into the house, and I will sit in the driveway in the driver's seat of my car, and I will eat my meal, and all of the trash ends up in the trash can.
Yours are funny, Casey.
Well, because then they make you feel guilty, Kat. Like, you didn't get me anything. It's like, no, I didn't. I did not.
Will you call an audible? I always do. I will pick my wife up something all the time, just because if you don't want it, great, but I kind of know what she wants.
I do that too.
And getting the what about me treatment is not worth the risk of not getting something.
See, for me, I'm not doing any of this secret eating because I think if it has to be secretive for me, I shouldn't be eating it.
Oh,
so if I have to hide that I got something and I can't share it, then I shouldn't have.
It's not that I'm hiding that I got something. It's that I'm hiding that I didn't get you something.
We also talked about this. Also is germane to the notion of creative eating, to hide your eat. So I will never in an ice cream pint. I will never scoop out. I will shave off top layers so that optically from the top
stays flat.
Even and if it's split like parts chocolate, parts vanilla, I will reconstitute the line so you can't quite tell.
By the way, Casey, I know for sure there are people that do exactly what you do, that eat every last crumb, clean it up, finish, make sure there is no evidence left over that I stopped anywhere on the way home.
Oh, and it's even better if you can crumple your bag up into a tiny little ball. And the top trash bag in the trash can has a little bit of an opening that you can squeeze
it in there. They'll never know. Who's going to go digging around in that trash?
If you can crunch it up big enough to put it in a cup.
Yeah.
Even better. Yeah. And then crumple the cup.
Just drinking. What, I can't drink?
Yeah. Let me go to some calls. I'll come back to this list, but it's secret snacking spots. And I have Brittany who wants to chime in. Hi, Brittany. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Brittany?
So I had a secret snacking spot until about 3:30 this morning.
Oh.
I have a drawer underneath my bed.
Okay.
That's meant for clothing. So, but I have some clothes in there, but I also have some snacks. Well, it was about 3:30. I heard some crinkling, and it turned out to be a mouse.
A mouse was in your snack stash.
I heard it.
No food upstairs.
No food in the bedroom.
Yeah. So I got up at 3:30. I took all the snacks downstairs. I put them in a bag, put them in the fridge, and I threw out any trash. And I vowed to not do it again.
No, all right. Well, I can see that. I can see that being the end of that for you. But
that is. Yep,
but maybe like putting it in an airtight container, or you have to be
No.
She's out. Brittany's out.
That's it's done.
By the way, the number one place on this list that people have their secret snacking spot is in bed. So that's where people like to do that.
So a lot of times, if you're up in bed, you don't want to at night. You don't want to take the walk down to the kitchen and get stuff. So I bought Claire a mini fridge for she's on another floor in the house. She never uses it, So it's one of those things you don't want to get out of bed. And I kind of subscribe to your notion, Kathy, too. It's good to have that distance to stop you from going and getting it. Will
she eat in bed?
No. No, really, she will eat before she goes.
'Cause I love-
Now, I'll find wrappers, like, if it's been a particularly candy night.
I love bed and I love food, but I don't like the two of them at the same time. And
Right.
I need separation. I don't like getting crumbs in bed, and then you roll over them.
There's
later
one
on.
thing I can eat in bed, which is the Hers pretzels.
Yeah.
Because the opening of the bag is big enough
So
that you
big.
could eat over it.
You can eat over it?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
But then also, like you know, the secret for eating in bed with things that have crumbs is make sure that they're all bite sized, so you're not actually biting into something.
So that you're
and it
creating-
all
Yes.
goes into your mouth.
All goes
Do you know
Yeah.
it's a good height too, Preston? And I do it at home. I keep rotisserie chickens on my lathe.
Yeah, you're laid.
Right.
Yeah, so
Smart.
yeah, right?
Rochelle and I will eat in bed sometimes if we're like watching a movie or something like that. I'll bring up like cheese and grapes and crackers and things like that.
Look at you.
Yeah, I like to make it nice.
a charcuterie board made out of a pillow.
Maybe a little hummus. something
Brittany's
like that.
story is probably the exact reason that I don't want any
The
food.
mouse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like mouse. I have a friend who used to eat in bed, and I guess crumbs got on the floor, and he literally woke up in the middle of the night to ants crawling all over him.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so
Let me go
that's
to
all
Megan. Hey, Megan, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Megan. Do you have a little secret snacking spot?
Yeah, so years ago when I used to work at Wawa, we would have like so much spoilage that we threw away. So I would like sneak some of the food and run back to the dish room and eat it.
In the dish room. What's the dish room at Wawa, by the
In the
way?
dish room at Wawa,
What is the dish room? I'm not familiar.
So basically, back behind the deli, we have an area where we wash all the dishes that we use.
Okay. All right.
So yeah,
And so
I'd
you
run
would
back there
you would
and-
slip back there. Would you do it? Would you be kind of hiding? And did anybody ever catch you with your mouth full?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
If-
Offered.
If you work in a place though like that happens to have as you say, Casey,
Megan.
mouth, small, biteable like nuggets.
Yeah.
Duncan was great because Duncan, the nuggets,
The donut holes.
you can pop those nuggets. Close your mouth. You can have 2 or 3 of them, and
The munchkins.
Don't you know though? Like
Yeah.
when you're done chewing, like
Yeah.
you think like, oh, they probably don't know. They know. They know you've eaten something.
Yeah, I just got a text from my friend Jen from college. She just said I literally rolled over onto a honeycomb this morning.
Let's go to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Lisa. All right. So your secret snacking spot.
Okay, so I used to work in a diner, and sometimes the cook would give me a scallop or a shrimp, and of course it would be too hot to eat, and you'd be busy. So I would put it in a souffle cup with a lid, put it in my apron, and I would eat it in like 10 minutes when it was cool.
so to the outward appearance, you would just simply be drinking out of a cup, but you're actually eating shrimp.
Actually eating shrimp or scallops. Yeah, it was
I have to imagine that
little
there's nothing
hors
better
d'oeuvre.
than diner shrimp.
Yeah, diner scallops is probably better.
I gotta deter these things.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. I will when I go to the grocery store. I do this now, and I always felt kind of guilty about it, but. Grapes are a crapshoot, man. Sometimes you get them
Sure.
and you take them home and you eat it and you're like,
What the hell?
this batch sucks.
Why am I alive?
Well, they're sour.
Yes,
And
I hate that.
I do too. So I will put the grapes in my cart.
Give it a little taste.
I will be walking through shopping, and when I'm alone, I'll snag one of those bad boys and take a quick
Just
bite.
one?
Just one.
Okay.
Listen,
What, like a fistful of grapes?
No, I just wasn't sure.
that
if
was
you
a great
snacked
movie,
on
by the
them.
way.
No.
Fistful of Grapes for Clint Eastwood.
And I feel kind of bad because grapes are sold by weight.
I wasn't sure if they were sold
They
by
are.
the bag.
They're
Okay.
sold by weight. So if I sit there and ate a bunch, I'm stealing
Is
at that
it
point.
inappropriate? I don't think it is. If you're in the produce section and you take one grape to sample, I've seen people do that.
I'm sure people do it all.
I don't
the
think
time.
that's frowned upon. Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
I'm not going to find out.
If you're in the meat section, can you cook a piece of meat
Yes.
over a lighter
I don't
just
wanna
to
get-
see how good it is?
I don't want to get banned from my grocery store, so I hide it while I'm
I
doing
don't.
it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. You think somebody would say something to you if they saw you eating a
probably not.
grape?
Especially your big celebrity.
Sir, don't eat the produce. Let me go
Oh,
to
Mr. Elliott, I didn't recognize you.
Let me go to Colton. Hey, Colton. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my man. All right, so secret snacking spot.
Well, I mean, I think every guy has it at least. I mean, I'm a car guy. I'm a garage guy. I mean, everybody's got the garage. Everybody's got the beer fridge. I mean, you just hey, I got to go do this. Like last night's garbage night.
Yeah.
You go out, you're doing garbage, you have a beer while you're out doing garbage because you know you're not going to get interrupted while you're in the garage.
Yes.
So it's just a nice place to have, that one beer that you got to have at night or whatever, and you're not interrupted while you're doing it.
Yeah. So you do it. You pick your area. You come up with your cover story. I'm going to go polish this turkey in the garage.
Colton, are you
Exactly.
slamming that beer while you're out there?
No, I mean, that's why you have to make up a good enough backstory that, hey, I'm going to be out there for like 15, 20 minutes
Right.
or so. Like, it can't just be like, hey, I'm going to go grab a 9mm wrench and come back.
Well, you said take out the garbage. Taking out the garbage takes about 30 seconds for me, so.
Well, no, because I have a garage can that I have to do. I have recycles that I got to. So there's.
I'm going to straighten up a little while I'm out there. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I'm going to rotate the half and half.
All right, that's a good one. The garage, definitely. All right, thank you, Colton. Appreciate it. Let me go through a few others. We got tons of calls here. So, other ones are, like I said, in a closet, a public toilet.
No.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that's
God.
like a brothel or an
yeah, right.
alleyway with junkies.
In a child's playhouse.
Just any random child.
I don't know. A public changing room.
Oh, what the hell?
In a swimming pool. I mean, I don't mind that if I'm at a pool party or something like that.
But to me, that'd be very obvious if you're going into the pool with a turkey leg.
Yeah, exactly. Up in the attic.
Okay. But
In the laundry room. In a hot tub. Some of these aren't secret snacking spots, like you said, Steve. That's
you want to be out of the line of sight.
All right, how about this? During exercise.
What?
No.
Occasionally, I'll put cheese wheels on my bar instead of plates.
I can't eat during exercise. Like,
No, me either.
breathe into
Oh,
it.
it's very easy.
I don't like to eat right before exercise.
No, me neither.
When you guys are curling, you don't eat French soup?
No, well, maybe I should try because I do like that.
In a storage room at work. All right, I can
Okay,
see
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that was again that ended up being on a number of occasions where I'd go to the storage room. There's nobody back there.
You ever take a nap in a storage room?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know
me
if I
neither.
have. In an elevator. Okay. I don't.
Just go up and down.
Get a high rise.
Just eating a salad in the
It's
elevator.
like a magic trick. Well, I'm going to make this meal disappear.
On the toilet is
No.
another one.
No.
A public stairwell. Why would you? Okay, I don't know.
I guess just to hide.
Yeah, if you're hiding in like the basement,
People-
then like a stairwell, I could
Okay.
see.
People used to smoke in the stairwells here. You'd walk
Did
in.
they?
Yeah. You could walk in there and smell the cigarette smoke.
If you go with someone else, you could have them get at the top of the stairs and roll M&Ms down into your mouth.
That's true.
All right, then you have the shed. It says I can see
Yeah.
that.
A shed is a good one.
Yep, that's a really good secret spot.
Septic tank.
In the bathtub, which is
I'm not a fan of that.
like if Rochelle takes baths quite a bit, and I will bring her up a little, little something nice,
Spaghetti.
Time to time. Some spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Before we get to Fox Good Day, we got a minute or so before we go on. I got this from Katie. 30 seconds. 30. Yep. It says, my family and I love listening to the Preston and Steve show every morning. Unfortunately, due to a change in my work schedule, my son and husband are now the only ones who get to enjoy the show together each day. I love to give them both, Paul and Paulie McNally, a shout out as they listen to your show every morning on their drive to school between 7:40 and 8 a.m. So look, we got it in. That's a shout out for you guys. All right, we got 5 seconds, so let's go on Fox Good Day. We'll hear some music surging up, and there it is. Little TV time.
That's how we keep popping out that binge.
Hey, Preston and Steve, hi. Good to see you guys.
Hey, you too.
We're reading this article about best friends Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and apparently Matt is messy. I never knew that. His house is messy. Is there? And it seems to bother Ben a little bit. Is there something, Preston and Steve? Preston, I'll just start with you. Is there something about Steve that annoys you, or you're not a fan of?
He is too good looking. And I just,
Well,
it bothers me.
What pisses me off about him is unrelenting kindness and generosity. Makes me look so bad by comparison.
Have you two ever fought?
No.
Not a knockdown, drag out. We've had disagreements over the years. We've been working together for 28 years, so there's going to be disagreements. But
you pick your hills to die on, and there's really you don't go this long.
Yeah,
sometimes you just say there's a magnitude of stuff I adore about Preston. So what am I gonna get pissed off about?
All right, I'll give you, and I know you guys are searching for some type of thing, so I'll give
Is
you
it
one.
me pooping in the garbage can?
No, I'm okay with that. Oddly enough. No, it's Steve. If we're going somewhere together outside of work, say because we've traveled together and stuff like that, Steve is a very fast walker. He walks at a brisk pace. And if we're in an airport, at some point I'm like, all right, I'm done keeping up. I'm going at my pace. I'm sorry.
I can see the plane. I can see that. Yes. Yeah,
but you know, I also read something about people who walk very, very fast. Are like you, Steve, in that they think very quickly too. There's a correlation, so it's similar to that.
So something that we all joke about that Preston does here when he's eating food, it'll be like. And when he drinks and he's savoring coffee.
I'm a flavor guy.
And I want to find something in life I enjoy that much.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, what are you eating? I want some of that then.
When I find something good, I kind of gasm over it a little bit, Alex. That's it.
What drives you guys?
So Preston?
Yeah.
Well,
Mike is perfect. There's not a single thing.
There's no question. This is one thing I love about Alex is there has to be a double-digit item list of things that annoy her about me, but she just breathes and lets it go.
I can tell you what's more than likely at the top of that list. Your train horn.
I knew it. I was going to say, the moment she takes a deep breath, pull the trigger on that train horn.
She hates the train horn. But I love it. I sleep with it.
I already know.
Listen.
Mike.
You need one.
When we do events,
yeah,
he always tells me a different time.
If I get in an Uber and I'm going to pick her up to go to an event like the Camp Out for Hunger, I tell her at least 20 minutes
early
earlier than
I actually am going to be there.
But I've been better recently.
Yeah. She has texted me. I'm coming right down when I know she's naked.
What?
She's not dressed.
You mean like I'm coming out of the shower or something?
Yes.
No, she's in the elevator. she's an exhibitionist.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. That is too funny. Those two, I love their relationship. And it's got to be, on top of, they love each other, but there's got to be, there's this butting of heads in a fun way.
She's a young, I mean, he's single as well, but I mean, they're two different types of lifestyles that jive well together, you know? And they didn't have, I mean, if you think about how we came together, they were sort of, they were like, okay, here's your new partner.
They were put together.
Yeah, and that's it.
And then you have to make it work. But the Mike obviously welcomed her in, and it was a perfect fit. So love it. All right, Bizarre File stories. We got those.
Now, WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Neumann University. If you're ready to take the next step, advance your career with Neumann University's graduate programs, flexible, supportive, and career-focused. You can learn more at newman.edu/graduate. All right, so we told you about, this is a follow-up story, told you about the monkey problem in St. Louis.
Yes.
Where authorities are dealing with monkeys loose in the city. And now AI-generated images from the public are making them harder to find. At least 4 vervet monkeys were first spotted near a park in the northern part of the city last week. No one knows where they came from or who owns them. Now things are being complicated in a non-AI way as the monkeys have apparently called for backup. A black and white goat has also been seen wandering loose in the same area.
Man, there's a huge problem now.
Where the monkeys have been spotted.
So is the goat transporting them?
We don't know. Maybe they're riding on the goat.
Yeah.
A health department spokesperson, Willie Springer, said people have been posting fake AI photos and videos on social media. claiming to have found or even captured the monkeys. Some show the animals doing silly things like stealing cars. Officials are asking residents to only report real sightings and to call animal care and control if they spot the animals.
Do we know where they came from?
No, we don't. We have no idea.
No idea whatsoever. So, I mean, are they escaped lab monkeys? Are they from the zoo? We don't know.
Yep, it is illegal to keep monkeys in the city. No word on the goats' intentions as of
Just wanted to get in on the action.
All right, for those of you who have been waiting for the return of Jesus, we've got some good news for you, sort of. In Farmingville, New York, a statue of baby Jesus was stolen from the St. Michael to the Archangel Chapel nativity scene, and police have received report of the stolen statue, but had no luck in retrieving it. But over the weekend, police confirmed the statue had been returned anonymously. So Jesus returns.
That was all the rage for a while, stealing the baby Jesus out of nativity scenes.
Not cool.
The church and authorities have thanked the public for the help in getting the word out, which they say played a role in the baby Jesus' return, but there are still no firm leads as to who took it in the first place. I remember years and years and years ago, we had a guy call in, and we were talking about, I don't remember what the topic was, but he said he and his friends had stolen a baby Jesus from a nativity scene and turned it into a bong.
I remember that
I thought was
story.
pretty damn funny. But yeah, steal a wise man, one of the wise men or something like that.
They're bigger.
Yeah. So he obviously thought that it was worth a try. An 80-year-old man was arrested at Tenerife South Airport in Spain after allegedly trying to board a flight with his dead wife in a wheelchair. This is the second story like this. The other story was in Spain as well that we
remember
had.
this story, trying to get on with a dead body in a wheelchair.
By the way, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing Tenerife correctly or not. Tenerife?
That's how I've heard it.
Staff became suspicious when the woman did not respond during security checks. When an employee,
What, are you dead?
When an employee took her hand, she noticed a woman was not breathing and had an abnormally low body temperature. And the man reportedly told authorities his wife had died several hours earlier inside the airport. Police and
She'd been hit by a car.
Police and forensic personnel arrived at the scene, and an investigation
Sir, this is your wife's arm?
is underway. All right, this is messed up, but of all the stupid reasons to commit murder, it's one that's at the top of the list. A San Diego man is on trial for allegedly killing his sister and nephew and then shooting his elderly mother after the home's Wi-Fi router was moved from his room. William Bushy, 61 years old, lived with his mother for 15 years before his sister moved in following a separation. Prosecutors say that he became hostile and that family members feared for their safety. But hours before the shooting, an AT&T technician had relocated the router, cutting off Bushy's internet. His defense attorney says Bushy was provoked after being pushed out of his home and acted in a moment of overwhelming emotion.
This sounds like Step Brothers, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he went crazy. All right, the Pennsylvania Farm Show hosted its annual mullet contest on Monday in Harrisburg, drew about 150 competitors and more than 1,000 spectators. The event celebrates the short in the front, long in the back hairstyle business in the front, party in the back hairstyle as well. Once popular with hockey players and metal bands. The top prize, a Corvette rear bumper trophy.
That's great.
Went to 10-year-old Drew Fleshett of Dallas, Pennsylvania, who dressed as the character Joe Dirt and carried a mop as
He
a
looked
prop.
good, too. He looked really good.
Ben Barley, who is 7 from Red Lion, showed up 2 hours early wearing a shirt that said Mullet Life. Kyle Wertman said that he was inspired by watching old wrestling footage of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan, sorry. The contest, now in its third year, is one of the few farm show events open to people from outside of the state.
So,
as
question,
well.
has there ever been a hairstyle that was business in the back and party up front, or anything that would approximate that?
Yeah, maybe Flock of Seagulls guy.
Yeah.
Because he had the dip that came down the front like this. I don't know. I'll have to, at some point, I had some, I brought in some old pictures. I had world-class mullets.
Oh, you were rocking a good mullet.
Back in the day.
I never did the mullet. I had a believe it or not, long down to my shoulders hair at one point.
Wow. All right, and then finally we'll end with this. Proposing to your significant other always is a nerve-wracking moment, especially for those who want to make a public spectacle out of it. It's in those moments that you'd hope that the person putting themselves out there like that was 100% sure of the answer they're going to get. In Brisbane, Australia, a duo named Bootleg Rascal kicked off their tour and invited a fan on stage who wanted to propose to his lady. Unfortunately, she clearly didn't see the relationship in the same light and could be seen shaking her head and scurrying off the stage.
Yeah.
In a social media post, the band said the tour got off to a great start, but they're not sure that we'll be helping out with another public proposal for a while after that one went bad.
Well, they probably got more viral traction because of that than just the wedding being accepted.
Yep, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file.
Did you have any trepidation about whether or not you'd be get a yes when you proposed to Rochelle?
No,
Okay.
Rochelle made it clear.
Right, yeah. Same with my wife.
I tell you, the night before I was going to propose and I had the ring and everything, she was going, "You're never going to do it. You're never going to ask me."
All right, already.
I was to that point. I was like, here. Yeah. But it can, if you haven't discussed it, it can be a crapshoot sometimes.
There was a point when Kathy was.
Oh my God!
And her husband proposed on air.
Yeah,
and we're like.
I remember telling you guys off air, I'm like, I don't know if she's going to say yes or not.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marissa,
I wasn't
before you were
sure
on the show, and we were like, oh, boy.
We hadn't known Kathy quite long enough to...
She didn't seem like I want to settle down type at that point.
And we hadn't figured out the subtleties of some of her emotions. But, yeah, she was all in on it. And it ended up being solid. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. Make sure you stay close. We got some goods for you. Some buffalo wings.
Here, I brought you some hobo stew. It's your favorite, isn't it?
On the stairs, just at your house, sitting on the stairs. I can see that.
Yeah. That's my favorite spot for soup.
And then number 2 on this list, this is Casey. It says while driving. I think just in the car.
Yeah.
In general I think that's got to be one of the big sneaking food spots.
You have a delineation though. Parked and driving.
Right.
What is your driving food? Your number one driving food?
Oh,
I think you know what that has become for me is a like a burrito supreme.
It stays contained.
It stays contained.
Yep.
Not messy. One hand, easy
Absolutely.
to eat. Burgers are pretty simple too, as long as they're not. Like you're not getting like a loaded burger with tons of stuff on it.
Right.
Yeah. Fries are good.
Like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Pretty damn simple.
Shish kebab.
Very easy to eat while you're on the road.
Yeah, all of that contained, ready to go. French fries, easy.
Yep.
Get all that stuff.
Let me see here.
Baked Alaska.
I'm going to go to some more calls here. Let's go to Mike. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning, buddy. We're good. So, secret snacking spot for you?
I am currently 54 years old. It took me 45 years to figure out that the kitchen sink will disguise sounds of wrappers being opened.
Oh, okay.
Handy stuff like that. If you stand there and run the water, it will disguise many of those sounds, and nobody else.
I think you're talking my realm because you go in the kitchen, you position yourself in a way you can cover the sounds. You can make for me it's a combination of that. Hiding the sounds, and then also how you cut that piece of cake so it doesn't look like any cake.
Absolutely.
How you scoop the ice cream, all of that. How you rebuild the pile of French fries.
Right.
All of that stuff is critical.
Well done, Mike. Thank you. By the way, which leads me to the why are you hiding what you're eating? And on rare occasions, it will be I'm eating. So now, this is just at home. I wouldn't do this at work, but eating someone else's food, someone else's leftovers, and look at it and go, I think begging for forgiveness would be worth eating this. I didn't know it was yours. I didn't mean to. I'll get you some more. I have done that. What?
I don't do that.
You don't do that?
No, I don't.
Okay. You have respect for other people's leftovers?
Other people don't.
In your house,
they'll eat yours.
Time.
They ate my ice cream.
Yeah.
That's why I had to eat my mom's candy last night.
Let me ask you something. If you set up your dinner, everything's set there, you're ready to go, and you go to the bathroom and you come back and it's gone.
Yeah.
Can someone use? Well, you weren't here.
I mean, it's on a plate on the table.
Yep.
No, people wouldn't do that.
All right.
Possibly, the dogs would do it.
The biggest fight ever between my sister and I happened when I ate the last pizza, the last frozen pizza. I mean, physical fight. Throwing things, punching each other, the whole thing.
What kind of pizza?
I don't know, just some random frozen pizza, whatever.
When you want it,
Yeah.
when you've been thinking about it,
Yep.
that's like I told these guys earlier, I'm thinking about dinner. today. And I'm like, what I want. I know what I want. And I'm going to have it. And if anybody gets in my way, I'll kill them.
I remember swinging a hockey stick at her. I kid you not. Because she was punching me. She was hitting me. She was older than me.
You deserved it.
It
was pizza.
Yeah,
It was
but
the last one.
You know what?
I stand with you.
It wasn't dibs on her, or she didn't call dibs on it.
She didn't dib it.
And it wasn't hers. It was.
Right.
It belonged
My
to
parents
the
bought it.
household.
All
Yeah.
right, anyway.
They should have been hitting you with hockey sticks.
Secret snacking spots. Very interesting look at that. So thank you for your calls. We do appreciate it. We got to take a break. It's 7:51. We need to get to the bizarre file. We're going to have a fantastic actor. Mr. Chris Cooper is going to be joining us along with his wife. She's an actress as well, Marianne Leone, and they're talking about a project that they have available now called Within. Todd Fedorik's going to be on the program too, former Flyer great, and more. Stay with us. We'll return in just a little bit. Light, we got some free ink
And
for
have
you to
liquor.
win Tattoos Day. So if you're interested in a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and Piercing, just text the word tattoo to 39333 and we'll get a winner by the end of the program.
Did you get the email of one of our tattoo winners who did a Gene Simmons chicken?
No. Is that real?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I need to see that.
I'll dig that up. I thought you guys all got it.
No, I've got to see that. That's brilliant. That's as show-centric as you can possibly get. And it pays tribute to two great things, Gene Simmons and chicken.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't get better than that.
All right. This next segment might not work. Who knows? We're going to see if it does or not. We have talked about this in the past, about bringing in some items to show and tell about.
Preston?
Yes?
They said the same thing about the X1.
And look what happened. It broke the sound barrier.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, the Preston and Steve Show is bringing you Show and Tell. Thought I'd throw in a little bit of Rush this morning.
Hey, the teacher, Preston, we'd like to see you.
Oh, my God, yes.
And you show and tell what you have for us today.
I remember sitting there with a big brown paper grocery bag.
Oh, yeah.
With whatever it was that I brought in, and we would all sit on the floor. And like Steve, the teacher would call you up, and it was your turn. And it was so exciting because you would have seen a couple of people go by then.
Yeah.
And you know that yours is way better than theirs.
And you'd have and you could bring in things like a new cool toy that you had. Like,
Yes.
look at this, what this does.
Yeah, totally.
I could be the a-hole kid who criticizes what the other kids brought.
Oh, my God.
Because I didn't bring anything.
Totally.
And then, but everyone starts to pass out because you brought some stuff that you baked into the.
I poisoned them.
So I had I only remember one show and tell ever that I participated in, and it's because on my way home from school one time I found a gardener snake. And so I captured it and I put it in a Folgers can, and then I brought it into school the next day for my show and tell, and then the gardener snake somehow magically got away.
Oh, no.
And my mom let him go. She
really?
did not care for having a snake in our house.
By the way, check on that. Is it gardener snake or garter snake?
Garter.
I was pretty sure it's garter.
Garter snake, like in a wedding when you put the snake on the girl's thigh.
Yeah, and then it crawls around. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
That's cool.
And so people will be
What was that?
texting
What,
and
did
saying,
I said it the wrong way?
No,
Garter.
the snake-
Garter.
yeah.
Garter snake.
The snake that you are talking about has a gray mustache.
Yeah, you said a gardener snake.
A Jim Gardner
Okay,
snake.
so what I brought, speaking of show and tell back in the day and when the kids would be there, is what I've mentioned before. I brought this to my third grade show and tell and recently found it.
Wow.
And hopefully...
This is a good one already.
I haven't brought this in for you before, and it just dictates, it just shows exactly what a different time it was, because, ladies and gentlemen, I brought to my third grade show and tell a World War II bayonet.
Oh my God.
bayonet.
You actually brought that into school?
I did.
A weapon.
A weapon.
my God.
This is a knife. It's probably a good 10 inches long.
Good Lord.
And this was a bayonet that I bought in an army surplus store.
Yeah.
If you brought that today, the school would be surrounded and the SWAT team would be
I'd be
entering.
expelled.
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably be expelled.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But I told you there was another. So this is. I don't have any history on this knife, other than it was clearly sharpened quite a bit because it's got a section in the middle that's curved.
Yes.
Unless it was made that way, I don't really know. But it certainly seems well used. And this was definitely for a rifle because you can see where it would slide onto the barrel right here. And there's a button that you would push that would lock it. You could unlock it, and it's got a wooden handle with these kind of cross stitches in it. And there is a mark on it, but I've never researched it.
Do we know which army it was used for?
I don't know anything about this other than I saw a big freaking knife and I wanted to buy it.
So my dad...
And this is when you could, as a kid, you could walk into a store and buy a big-ass knife like this. I was in like third grade and I bought it.
We had a German, I believe it was actually a Hitler Youth knife that somebody given my dad while he was actively fighting the war. And brought it back. Oh, wow. Yes, Preston, that stuff was around the house. And as I said earlier, I brought a Civil War sword into show and tell. But remember, we had a bayonet as well. I was fascinated with the concept of the bayonet. So it'd be cool to kind of find out the history of that.
Yeah, it does have a mark on it. And I guess I could. It looks like a letter N or an M. I can't quite tell, with a crown over it.
That means Nermany. So it was an enemy weapon.
Do you remember the year you bought it?
Let's see. Third grade. It would have been 1978. Somewhere around
How
then.
cool were stores like that to go into surplus? At Preston,
77.
They would sell dummy grenades.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They would sell.
Well, I told you another item I brought for show and tell, and I've told this before. It was a Vietnam War era incendiary bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was literally a bomb casing.
Yeah.
It was about 2.5 feet long. It was orange. Had a fin on it. Cardboard Classic 2026 registration is now up and running. So if you want to be there March 6th and not just on the side of the hill watching the action, how about being on the hill, going down the hill in a sled? Are we going to make it? Are we going to live? You'll be one of those that gets to ask that question.
And those are all legitimate questions that you're going to ask. Listen, Preston, when you see the exaltation when someone makes it down the bottom of the run on something that they built, it's like they won an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah,
it's so amazing.
So be a part of it. We've got all kinds of prizes. That stuff's well. I'll tell you what. We have $1,000 for the best design, $750 for second place, and $500 for third place for the best screwball peanut butter whiskey sled. That's a new sponsor this year for the event. $1,000 for that.
It's friggin' awesome.
And Pacifico is our beer this year. So for the best Pacifico sled. We have beer for a year and a 42-piece Pacifico Shaun White Snow League merch pack that comes along with that. And then we have the fastest sled. That's for an individual sled, $200 for that, and $500 for our favorite fail, and that's sponsored by Team Collision. So, but the real prize is just making it to the bottom of the hill and having the crowd cheer you on. So you can go to WMMR.com and get signed up now. Make that dream come true this year.
Could not agree more. I would also, again, I'm going to repeat it as many times as I can. If you have the ability before you're setting up your sled, whether you're going for the speed or whatever, go to the website. Go to PrestonSteve.com. There is a whole repository of videos and about what you can get an idea of what will work, what makes it down the hill, what's the best kind of design and limitations. It's all there, right, Marissa?
Yeah, exactly. Go to the events and you can click on the Cardboard Classic link.
There's a story that we wanted to go back to from the news earlier this morning, and it was about the tow truck industry in and around the Philadelphia area. There's been a couple of more like shootings that have happened over the past few months, and we went through a spate of this years ago. It surfaces every now and then. It's surfaced a few times where there's a territorial issue that's taking place of like a turf almost.
It's like a flare-up
of the tow truck companies and violence that happens between companies, and it's just wild how I don't know, Wild West-esque it is in that world.
It blows. Sometimes when I pass by tow trucks, Preston, because we've heard these stories, I'll look and see if I see any bullet holes.
Yeah.
Because we've heard of them do stuff like that. And the initial round, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, we were talking about it. And what happened is that that territorial thing was very much in force, and people were going after each other's areas. I don't know who handles breakdowns on, say, 76 or the highways.
Well, it's supposed to be on a rotating
basis. And I think that was one of the points of contention, is that people were coming in and pilfering, poaching other people's rights.
It can be scary too. Like if you're in an accident and somebody swoops in, you don't know, are they really there to help you?
Right.
Are they just trying to poach it? Are they going to take your car to a place you want them to take it? Are they going to take it somewhere else?
I've had a couple of tow truck drivers that were kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
And now, for whatever reason, there were 2 times in particular, and I was just like,
Yeah.
And the way that the news story was written this morning was it was kind in saying that some places kind of lend themselves to having some colorful characters that work for it. Now, it basically said some people, maybe who have criminal records and have a violent past or something like, for some reason, gravitate towards that industry. I don't know if that's true or not. But I have had a couple times where I'm like, this dude's scary, man, and is not communicating very well, and is looking, and am I going to get my car back? You know,
I remember years ago when I was doing stand-up comedy, I was in upstate New York. My crap car, broke down, and the guy came, and I definitely had the feeling I was being set up to lose a lot of money, and I kind of like laid it out and said, listen, you're not going to get rich off me if that's a deal breaker right now, or if you're going to screw me over. I sort of came at him a bit, but I definitely got the indication that something nefarious was going to happen, and it was very uncomfortable.
When you said colorful character, I was just thinking like sweet talkers, like someone who might be like, "Hey, you got to get out of here. Like we got to move this. Traffic's got to move," and they just convince you that you have to move your car, and that it's almost like illegal to wait here. Until somebody you call gets it. They're kind of like swindling you. They're sweet talkers.
Right. No, I mean, I was talking about, somebody who's like scary.
But there's also a video that's been going around. Do you remember the Dave Attell show, After Dark? Insomnia.
Yeah.
Insomniac. He hooks up with a tow truck driver. And the dude just talks about having a gun in his glove box.
If it's that competitive, I mean, and we do know that here's this most recent story, as you said, Preston, there's shooting going on. That it's you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, and I don't know if we touched on this in the very beginning, but this latest shooting, the last 3 shootings have all been associated with the same towing company.
Yeah,
and so that's why they're like, hang on a second, something weird's going on here.
And also, this opens up the conversation too, and Steve had mentioned this off air of what business, and you may have an insight into this and want to call in. What business gets territorial that we may not consider that can get cutthroat, like threats, maybe not to the extent of this of shooting and killing each other, but maybe there's some threats or there's some fisticuffs.
Morning radio, man.
Well, no, you know what? You're right. There was an era, there was a time in our business where it got personal, it got mean and evil, and people were very, very competitive, and threats are made off air. Thank God it doesn't happen anymore.
No.
We were just like this. Look at these idiots. This is stupid that people are acting like this. But at some point, you're right, Casey. It was getting that way.
I remember they would actually go cut transmitter lines. That had happened.
Get out!
Oh
wow.
No, I remember threats being made flat out. We're coming to your house, or this and that. About me, and I was like, for what?
They called my house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They talked to my wife. Yeah.
That's obscene.
Sometimes the restaurant industry can get that way, especially the bar industry. People get mad if you open up a bar nearby. But then there's also a theory where it's like, hey, we're all in this together.
Right.
If I open a bar near yours, more people might be likely to come and attend both of our facilities.
That's the rising tide philosophy that raises all ships. And but I mean, but also in that industry, you're right, Marissa, the territoriality of hey, this is my area, man.
Yeah, there's 2 Delco things right now that I'm thinking about. There was a pizza place in Upper Darby where the dude dropped like rats or mice into the ceiling of the other pizza place.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
A couple of texts coming in before you go on, Casey. Somebody said hardwood flooring companies.
Really?
Actually, I could see that.
Yes.
Lawn care companies can be territorial like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have a neighborhood and then somebody else comes into that neighborhood.
Maybe outbids you, goes a little lower, just for a couple $100.
Yeah. So the other one is they call it the dim sum wars of media. And these 2 guys had a dim sum place together, and they had apparently had a falling out. So the guy left the business, and he opened up a dim sum place right next to the other dim sum. I mean, and it's on State Street and Media.
Are the wars still going on?
Oh
Is it
yeah,
dim sum war?
apparently. Like, I'm just an outsider looking in. But
Think about like putting rats in it.
yeah, that never happened to the dim sum guy.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure there's lots more of these, but the Ton Tavern right now is opening. They're relocating and they're opening 2 locations right next to each other in Old City.
Really?
Yeah. You know the Ton Tavern? The place?
I do, but hang on, I don't understand. It's the same company opening 2 locations near itself?
No, I think
What do you
one
mean?
is like a restaurant group and one is a group of people that are continuing.
So there's another, there's a separate entity is going to name it Ton Tavern.
They're opening 2 brand new restaurants. Both are called the Ton Tavern
Owned
on
by
the
different
same block.
People.
Owned by different people in
Yeah.
Old City right
I
now.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. All right, let me go to some calls. We're going to start with Barry, a former police officer. Hi, Barry, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Grandmom.
Hi,
Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Barry, so you wanted to talk about the towing companies in particular, right?
So I used to work for a small town, about 1.9 million people. So how they do it, this little town, is there's a thing called rotational tow, and it's dispatched through the police department. And it's supposed to make it fair for all these tow companies that are approved by this little town. And they have an official app, the police department's notified, so that when you get these, I would call these unofficial tow companies, like the vultures, the ambulance chasers, they are unapproved. They're not allowed to take the car because it has to be done the right way through this little town's process.
So let me go ahead.
So that's how this town is taking care of these potential issues. It doesn't stop the vultures from still coming, but that police officer should be there telling that vulture, saying, like, you're not allowed to take this car. You're not an approved tow truck.
But my guess is that everything doesn't always synchronize up the way that scenario is going, where the police officer shows up, tow truck shows up, and then can delineate, who's codified, who's allowed to take that vehicle. And so I assume, first off, can you give me a ballpark guesstimate of how many tow trucks and independent tow truck companies there are in the area in this small town?
Oh, hundreds. And some of them aren't even companies. It's just, a guy with a tow truck.
Yeah.
So my question for you, Barry, is you would assume that this rotational system is designed to be fair for everybody, to get their little piece every day. But you're talking about locations, right? So is it rotational for the entire city, or what if it's my turn in the rotation and I'm in South Philly and the tow is in Northeast Philly? That's not very convenient for my business.
So I'm not too sure about this Philly that you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
However,
in the south part of this small town, and it ends up in the northeast part of this small town.
So, from to the best of my knowledge, they have 30 minutes to respond to the accident scene, and it's all done via this app that shows the location of the next available truck in that area. So, do I think it's 100% fair? Probably not. However, it's a solution to a major problem that
it's something. It's at least something. Let me ask you: have you, in your years of doing what you do for a living in this small town, have you seen interactions, violent interactions, or things of that nature?
Absolutely, and it causes a distraction to the accident scene and to taking care of those that were just involved in a major auto accident. Now those police officers have to divide their attention to breaking up this fight or pushing, these 2 vulture tow trucks off the area or the scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to handle. I mean, how bad has it gotten? Have you ever seen a weapon pulled?
Not personally, but it's bad. It's very
bad. Okay. Wow. Okay.
How we're supposed to handle the situation and fix it, I really am not too sure.
No,
but it is an issue.
It seems like a ridiculous problem.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it. Go back to your small town life, bud. We'll talk to you another time. Take care. A ton of texts are coming in, and I'll just mention a few of these. So somebody's saying that beauty shops can be this way for, about poaching customers and things like that. Somebody had said there's a lot of texts about the dim sum place case.
Oh, yeah.
The dim sum wars.
Fire restoration companies. Let's see. I work in food service sales, and I can tell you that rival salespeople are competitive and petty. Shopping centers. Let's see. The elevator business. This guy says especially for non-union. I've been threatened. Tools have been stolen and followed home.
So this is for elevator repair?
Yep. Here's someone says, I know someone that does driveway paving, and he was threatened to stay out of a neighboring state altogether.
Jesus.
And several others. Taxi companies.
Yeah, I've heard taxi companies.
And think about like Uber and Lyft have essentially eliminated taxis all over the city.
Let me go to Sean. Hi, Sean. Morning, bud.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. So we were talking about, this tow truck industry and how cutthroat it can get. What's another one you wanted to tell us about?
Yeah, man. So I was born and raised in a shore community, and now I work for the town in a law enforcement capacity. And the ice cream truck drivers can, for lack of a better term, can get pretty gnarly. They get pretty cutthroat. If you enter a town that you're not licensed or permitted in, and you start selling in their territory, they're very quick to narc each other out, and they confront one another. And on one occasion, we actually had to break up a physical confrontation.
Wow. So you've actually seen it come to blows. Somebody pulls up in a vehicle with a brightly colored clown on the side and happy kids music playing, and they get out and throw down.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I believe it was a Mr. Softy versus Good Humor. It was a bright, sunny summer day, and they didn't think twice, dude. It's a pretty lucrative industry in the summer season, as you guys could probably imagine.
Sure. Yeah. Sean, let me ask you. So they're like those ice cream truck people are licensed for specific areas?
Yeah, and if you don't get licensed in the town, if you don't get a permit for the season in the town that you're selling in, they can hit you. They can ding you pretty good with fines and kick you out of town for however long a period of time as the town sees fit.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
wild because
Sean.
Sean. Oh, never mind.
Sorry.
No, in Wildwood, apparently, only either law enforcement or former law enforcement or veterans are granted permits for ice cream trucks and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know how or why that is.
You got Monster Cone, Big Top Surf, and Sunday.
Big
those
Top
are,
Surf and
those are the
Sundays.
two biggies.
Yeah.
I think those two get along, though, from what I understand. They're not, it's not a turf war.
What are the two?
So.
Monster Cone and Big Top Surf and Sunday.
And they're both ex-military?
Yeah. I think they're both Green Berets. Maybe
no, but where did you hear about that?
I just
From
heard
Frank over at Big Top Surf and Sunday?
No. I believe my wife said something.
I want to have an ice cream truck.
Yeah, right.
And I want to deliver to the people in my hometown. I'm not Mr. Softy. I'm hard. I'm battle hard. And I don't have any good humor. I saw a lot of dying over there. I just want to give out popsicles.
That's what I should do. I want what they want.
I want what they want. I want a push pop.
There needs to be a Rambo ice cream truck.
I want you to line up and tell me what you want.
I need somebody to either confirm or deny what I just said because I don't want to be, speaking out of turn there.
Okay. All right. Confirm or deny that in Wildwood,
at least for the crest, I thought
that that you're only granted a permit,
like first responders and or veterans.
Ex-military veterans.
I don't see how that's legal.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know
That's
what?
the way it should be.
I'm
Preston,
texting Frank from Big Top Sundays
Thank you.
now.
Maybe he would know.
Well, I mean, but they are.
He may be on a mission overseas.
But I know Frank. They're with Philly Police, or his father is retired Philly
There you
Police.
go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Let me go to. Hang on. We have Tom who's joining us. Hey, Tom, you're on the air. Good morning, bud.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to see you, Tom. All right. So we're talking about competitive businesses that take it to the next level. What did you know about?
Tattoo shop.
Tattoo shops?
Casey, yeah, tattoo shops are very, very turf related, right? I'm very big into the tattoo world. There's one in Delaware County off of Chester Pike. Don't want to put their name out there because I love getting work done there, right?
But there was a shop that opened up right around the corner. They drove them out of business.
How did they drive them? How did they drive them out of business?
Telling them how horrible their these guys' artists are whack. We would never hire them. Like,
Just
this
spreading-
guy's this, just literally belittled, destroyed, and ripped this tattoo shop apart until they were no longer there.
So it transcended just simply bad word of mouth. They actually vandalized the place?
No, I can't say they vandalized
right.
the place, but they would literally just everything they could do to make this guy look bad. They did it.
So,
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, guys, I'm like, this is kind of dirty, but hey, I still go there, so I won't say their name.
No, that's just dirty business.
It can be, yeah. I mean, you would think that that the artistry, that the professionalism, or however you want to put it, whatever product you're putting out, should dictate whether or not people will come.
It'll speak for itself.
It should speak for itself.
When you're very established in Delco, right? You're like one of the biggest names in Delco, and you were for the longest time. Like, your artist putting that word out there.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, that's true. There's no way that's
Okay.
That's definitely the best place to go, But now there's so many other establishments in there, but it's still competitive.
Listen, I'll tell you.
I lost 6 months. I wasn't out of the book because I went somewhere else by mistakes.
I'll tell you this. This translates over to leaving bad review bombing a place online.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a similar thing. The difference here is with the tow trucks is that the companies are shooting at each other.
Yeah,
that's another level.
When it comes to tattoo shops, I mean, you can do bad reviews all you want, but the proof is in the pudding. And with social media, you put your work out there, you can see what the kind of work that they do.
I'd like a pudding tattoo, please.
Yeah.
Let me go over to Jason. Hi, Jason. Good morning, brother.
Run, he's got a gun.
Oh, sorry.
Hang on. Casey was checking the time here.
I'll find you and I'll shoot you. Run, he's got a gun.
All right, what's up, Jason?
Hey, guys. First time, long time. I mean, long time. But
Thanks,
it's good
buddy.
to finally get through to y'all.
Excellent.
So I'm a diesel mechanic for a very large trucking company. And believe it or not, the parts industry for my industry is super competitive. I've actually had salesmen from the same company get into a fist fight in my parking lot. My particular shop is right on the edge of two territories, and the salesmen are that competitive about their commissions that, if the one guy comes and sells me a transmission and he gets the money for it, it can blow up and it gets ugly.
How competitive does it get with brake pads? I'm curious about that.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. And in the bulk that I buy them in, man, it's like we're talking, an extra 4 or 5 cents on your check. So I'm sure it's
it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild though. Listen, when you're on a commission-based salary, and it's food on your table, I could see you getting a little crazy.
Jason, when you did you see the fight happen?
Oh, absolutely. I just told him, if you guys could take that outside of the gate, I'd appreciate it. It's not really my place. I'm not their boss.
It's between them. Yeah, absolutely right. That's wild. All right. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All
Take
right,
care, guys.
Yeah. And I guess what you consider quote unquote territory. I guess if you work at the same business and you have a clear defined territory, this is mine, that's yours. And if you crossed over into, I could see it being personal, but don't you go to your manager and maybe have them handle that?
Yeah.
Maybe you get to poach somebody out of their territory next time, or
And
I
this
don't know.
these are all smaller businesses, and this is why franchises they have it all figured out. And so if you wanted to let's say buy a Dunkin' or a Primo Hoagies or something like that, you can do that.
They're going to space it out,
but they space it out for you, right? If there is a one of those franchises, there's a radius that you can open your business in,
right?
And
not so in the world of dim sum, apparently.
No, but this sort of stuff makes me nervous, right? Because the reality for me is that I have no discernible skills, right? Outside of what I do for a living, I don't know how to do anything else. So sometimes I think about like, oh, what will I do post show, and what can I do? And the thought is, oh, well, go into my not get into dim, but like I would be nervous to open another business because like I don't want that kind of drama. I just want to show up and do my job and go home.
Think about the person that's working at a job that has that tattoo place or that whatever, and they've had this part of the town for a while. And then another business that's similar comes in, it can make you do crazy things.
I guess so, even though it is 100% legal for that other person to set up shop and to this is America, Jack.
Yeah.
You know, it's free enterprise.
And you're allowed to. And as you said, all right, we're going to up the game on our product, and we're going to offer sales. That's all well and good, but it still can cause massive friction.
For sure.
It's like an assault.
I'm going to go to Terry. He's been on hold longest. Hi, Terry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing, Alan?
Doing good,
Happy
bud.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Says here you're a retired police officer.
Yes, sir. Did 30 years in Philadelphia.
And run-ins
spent
with...
spent my first 10 in running around in Center City, and that's where I got my taste of tow trucks.
So do tell, what was the environment like back then, and do you get any sense it's gotten worse or better over the years?
I think it's got a little worse.
Okay.
The competition thing is crazy with them, and especially the overnight hours. I mean, these guys were pulling guns on each other for tow jobs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, pulling guns on each other. How lucrative is it? Say you're first on the scene for a tow truck pickup and your vehicle. I mean, is there that much money in one vehicle?
You know what? I really don't know. They were supposed to have rates on their trucks and everything else for their tows. So, some people have a thing with their insurance where they call a number, and that number is like AAA or whoever sends the tow truck out. These guys are out running around wreck chasing, and they were ruthless between 95 and the Boulevard.
Yes. There was an area.
It was nuts.
We had heard about it. How you, as a law enforcement person at that point in time, how much did that impact your ability to do your job with these guys racing around like that?
Well, I mean, it was good because a lot of times they would show up and get a scene cleared if you had to, get the traffic moving and all. But they, I laugh at them, I laugh at them. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. They got guns, yes.
Yeah. They're licensed. Some of them are licensed to carry, and when they got their attitudes up, I mean,
the license doesn't allow you to discharge it at a competing tow truck company.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen.
I've actually had one of the jobs that I can remember off the top of my head was the guy had showed up because he was in a parking spot, and they were pulling cars out of the parking spot, and I showed up, and the car was on the hook, and the guy who owned the car standing there, and the tow truck driver, he wouldn't drop the car. My thing was, listen, man, if you take the car, I'm going to lock you up for stealing.
You stole the car.
The guy who owns it is right here.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sure you've seen some stuff. All right, Terry, thank you. I appreciate it. Do you remember that story of that towing company in somewhere, it was in South Philly, I think. And they would put out the fake parking tow signs.
Yes. Yeah, it was right on Washington Avenue.
And they would tow the car illegally and charge them to get the car back.
Exorbitant rates.
Yeah.
So they would have basically these faux
no parking
signs.
Yeah, which wouldn't be out. Somebody would park, and then they'd bring out this mobile sign and stick it out there and say, fines and blah, 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 and they would tow it, and then they would charge you to get your car back.
Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, there are certain rules, like when a truck is up, when it's already been hoisted, you can't lower it again. I don't know. I don't know what the legal
I don't know.
Maybe it's their policy. I don't know if it's a law or not, but I know what you're talking about. And that can be used in the scam.
There used to be the lot over in Manayunk. There was a lot right across from the gym on Main Street, and it was Salon L now, I think it is. that parking lot. It's right where the brewery used to be, and
Where the farmer's market used to be.
Farmer's
Where I got
market
my
used to be,
eyebrows waxed yesterday.
There you go. So they are very protective of that lot, and people would run in to get something, and the vehicle would already be up on the tow truck. I mean, that's how predatory they are.
I'm going to read a couple texts to you, and we got to take a break here in just a second. But somebody texted and said, the wildest I see is resellers who go to thrift stores and yard sales to resell. I've seen full-on fist fights by older ladies fighting over a small glass angel that they think is worth millions. Here's another one.
To see that.
This is not in our area, but lobster fishermen are territorial at times, sometimes sinking other people's boats. Here's a text that says, this is from Nick. Nick says, dude, massage therapists. My wife is an MT, and she has her own spa, and it's super cutthroat.
So you'll say sometimes they rub each other the wrong way. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Another one says, my dad was a non-union roofer, and the union threatened his boss. They said they had a gun trained on him.
What?
That's Michelle from Levittown.
A gun trained on him.
And then another one says, I work in a non-union welding shop, and we've had machines and trucks vandalized and tampered with on job sites by other welding companies or union welders.
Dude, yeah, that's a whole other level that we don't. That's why the tow truck thing became such an eye opener. You're like, all right, it's just tow trucks.
Here's two that you wouldn't expect. I'm going to go to these phone calls. I have Michael joining us. Michael, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to bother you guys at work.
It's all right, man. All right, so what kind of job that we would have no idea can be cutthroat in competition?
The milk delivery business.
The milk delivery business, okay.
Back in the 60s and 70s, we owned a dairy in Philadelphia, and you would go into all these mom and pop stores all over the city, and you had two companies, be like Coke and Pepsi, that delivered milk. And the competitors would take a pin and tape it to the top of their pencils, and then when nobody was looking, they would take your milk gallons and half gallons and poke a hole in them. They leaked all over the boxes, and they would throw you out because you made a mess of the refrigerator.
Wow.
What a cheap trick.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
It wasn't a bad idea, though.
I mean,
That's a good
it's
idea.
clever.
Yeah.
Definitely clever. Thanks, Michael.
You know what I heard?
Absolutely.
And man, I may be just talking out of my ass right now, but the narcotics industry I hear is really volatile at times.
You mean amongst drug dealers?
Yeah.
Like there's a documentary about it called Scarface.
Yeah.
Hang on. Now, here's one that you wouldn't expect, and it does involve drugs, but this is Rachel who's joining us. Hi, Rachel. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Rach?
So calling in from Delco, and I've been in the substance use addiction treatment field for 25 years now. And we have had multiple people steal the name of our business.
Okay.
So when you click on the website, it takes you to someone who will send you to a treatment center in Florida.
So they're trying
multiple times.
So they're trying to poach business in the substance abuse and treatment industry.
Yeah.
Is this besides that one case? Have you heard of other ones like that?
It's happened to multiple different locations.
Could you imagine that? Yeah. Hey, first 6 months worth of drugs for on us.
Well, I mean the fact that this is you're trying to improve someone's life.
Right.
You're trying to
and still they don't give a rat's ass.
They don't care.
No, they're trying to make money.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should say.
Rachel, was anything ever done? Was there anything that could be done about that?
Yeah, we would just call and make sure that, we call law enforcement and let them know that they were poaching the website and to take it down, or else we'd have to pursue a lawsuit.
Okay. Interesting.
I hope you didn't call because you seem very, very relaxed.
Very sedate.
I'm
gonna kick your ass.
No, man. Listen, you're trying to do something good for people.
Yeah.
Somebody comes in and pilfers
Thanks,
your
Rachel.
webpage.
Appreciate it.
Sucks.
Real quick, Casey, your question about the Wildwood and ice cream shops.
Yes.
Yes, from
some
Frank.
information I got. anonymously is that there might be preference in a town to giving a first responder or a veteran a permit first over somebody else because of their service. But it also was explained to me that back in the day, the ice cream people on the beach were strictly veterans.
Okay.
But that is now since gone away.
Okay.
But maybe that's where it got started.
Okay, interesting.
That's how Rambo worked for Mr. Softy.
Yeah. All right, well, this tow truck thing has surfaced again of guns coming out and people getting shot.
And it's bad.
Pretty wild, man. So that's something that needs to go away if at all possible. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Chris Hardwick is going to be joining us, so make sure you stay with us. Had an arming pin and everything on it. And I had looked it up. It was incendiary, so it was for creating fires, is what it would do. It wouldn't explode, but it would just spread fire all over the place. And it would be for torching villages. I don't know, whatever. Burning babies, what they do. I don't know. But
bad babies, like German babies.
German babies.
Well,
the worst.
The Viet Cong, who were fighting at the time.
Yeah.
But I brought that in. You could bring that in without any concern. And listen, I think it's insane that we were able to do that stuff back then.
Yes.
And there's reasons why you can't do it now. But I found that stuff fascinating. Me and my friend Bubba at the time was his name. We were way into Steve playing war.
Oh my God, that's what we did all the time. And with the full size GI Joes, and when you could get your hands on equipment like this, Preston. When I brought the full Civil War sword it was a cavalry sword too. I think it was a cavalry officer brought that into school. I was proud because I had a story attached to it. We just used that sword. My pool above ground pool was frozen, and I ran the sword about 50 times into the frozen pool liner.
Oh man,
my dad loved that.
So it was a Civil War era sword.
Yeah.
What did you guys ever do? Those things are worth a ridiculous amount of money.
I guarantee you, it walked. My dad, when my mother passed away and we moved. My dad held the most crazy garage sale.
Wow.
Like things I had just bought ended up in the garage sale. I'm like,
He sold
where is I
Wow.
sold it. It's like, Dad, this is where you can't run a garage sale.
Yeah. So I don't have much to tell other than that I took it to show and tell as a kid, and that's just insane.
It's a beauty.
This thing was allowed in there.
So would you want to find the history on it? Like, would you want to figure out?
I've had it for a long, long time.
It's not something you probably take to Antiques Roadshow. There's probably not a lot of inherent value to it, but I bet there's a story behind it. And so you could talk to a military expert or some weapons expert, and I bet they could track down the rifle that it was used for, the era that it was used, that kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. It's pretty beat up, but yeah.
Still. I mean, I can't believe, that they sold it to you. You didn't have a parent with you? I can't remember if you said that.
I don't remember.
No, you could walk in, honestly, Case. There's a surplus store in Northport, Long Island.
Yeah.
You could walk in, I remember, and walk out.
I'd buy cigarettes for my mom.
I know.
Age, I mean,
but if I came home with a knife like that, A, if they sold it to me, and then B, if I came home with it, my parents would be like, no.
Casey, I had a machete as well.
I couldn't even have nunchucks. I wasn't even allowed to have nunchucks.
We lived in a place, this is when I lived in South Carolina when I had this, and there were woods all over the place around us, so I needed a machete.
Yeah.
I had to get around in the woods, so it was crazy. I had a motorcycle, I had a shotgun, it was ridiculous.
I remember buying flying stars from, all sorts of crazy weapons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody messaged on the YouTube stream that you should never clean that blade. It's worth more with the patina on it.
Oh,
I've never heard that before.
Maybe just
that's the new thing in collecting, and I was telling Preston about this. And with automobiles,
Yeah.
you don't restore them.
No kidding.
You let them, if you can find them, and let them be their original. With a little bit of rust, a dent, all that makes it worth more these days.
Casey, do you see that? There's small bits of dirt and mud on there. That was from me as a kid, jamming it into the ground or whatever.
It's Hitler's blood on the edge.
Maybe that's what that is.
That's what it is.
All right, so that's what I have for show and tell. Thank you, Kathy. Do you approve?
I mean, I'm not into weapons.
Okay, all right.
But it's good enough.
All right, let's get another show and tell.
Hey, wait a second. Can I send Kathy down to the cafeteria to get the pints of milk and snacks? The class would like to hear from Casey.
But Nick has 3 different things. So
I
if
know.
you wanted to, you could do like Nick and then me and then back to
Why
Nick.
don't you
again.
let him
the
be the
teacher?
teacher?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Who went to school for teaching?
Okay, well, then
Me
you
too.
guys got to hang on a second.
All right.
So I got to get ready here.
Oh, all right. I didn't realize he's actually preparing something. He's got goggles on.
Yeah, I got goggles.
He's got an arc welder.
Oh.
He's pulling something out. I can't tell if he's reaching into his briefcase or backpack or
Kid has a briefcase.
lunchbox or.
Okay. Hang on a second.
What do you might?
Do we need to skip you?
No. We're good to go. All right. Turn the music off.
Okay. Oh,
Lights,
wait.
please.
Oh, lights are
Lights
bring
are
the
down?
lights down.
What's
Do
Turn the
it.
lights down.
Light.
Turn the lights off.
Oh, my God.
This is exciting.
All right, here we
Wow.
go, baby.
What's this all about? Okay.
All right, here we go, baby.
Oh, it's got music.
He's dancing.
Oh, look at his shoes.
Oh, wait, I can't see.
He's got light up shoes.
Oh, I like that.
Those are great. What do they call those?
Light up shoes. Oh my God, they're silver and they have like LED lights around the soles of both shoes.
And those aren't like, what were the ones that you got when you were a kid that had just like the back of them would light up?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
these
you
are
would
much
step-
better.
No, these are like on all the time. There's probably an on-off button right on the inside of the shoe.
And they change colors and they go all the way around the sole of the shoe, like all the way around. Casey, I love those.
I love it too.
You have to wear those a lot more often.
I know,
Like
I
the
know.
Sixers games and stuff.
So when did you get those?
Last week.
That's still show and tell. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You get
What?
for
What?
show and tell?
What war is that from?
This is the Civil War. This is the end of the Civil War. This is what caused the end of the Civil War.
It was too easy to shoot people in the dark.
Casey, sit back on your chair, kick your
Okay.
feet up so we can see
Alrighty.
those. If you can. Look at that.
Wow.
And
Dude,
do you like
I love those.
do you hit the button and they'll change colors or they'll
Yeah.
flash or
he was just cycling through the different things he can do. How, if I may ask, Case, how much for something like that?
$37.99.
That's nothing.
Up.
We have. I sent Marissa
Straight from China.
The link. Yes. I mean on the box.
Yeah.
Made in China.
Made in China.
China, Texas,
I
though.
know. Thank you,
Next
China.
week they'll be dead.
they'll be dead, yeah.
But this is worth $37 for yeah.
Totally.
So, thank you, Instagram. You know me so well. Instagram showed me these things, and I was like, okay, let me go to, because the ones that caught my eye were American flag ones.
Oh, I like those for your birthdays, the 4th of July.
But they didn't have them in my size.
So how about the Chinese flag?
No, I didn't. They didn't have a Chinese flag either. But so when I went to the site, they had these ones, the obviously like super shiny silver, but they had like goldish ones, but you know, I was like, well, I got to get the silver ones because silver goes with more.
Well,
you know, than
let me
gold.
tell you something. These are excellent. Those are excellent. Preston, that's...
I love them. Is it okay if I get a pair?
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's why
all
I'm
right.
showing
You
it to
guys can walk around at night along the boardwalk?
Yeah.
Yes. And then so I sent Marissa the link. She can share that if you want.
What kind of battery does it take?
Oh, so it charges. So here's
Okay.
You have to run really fast.
Yeah, you got to run really, really fast. Runs
They're
on kinetic
exercise
energy.
shoes.
No, so it runs like
All right.
this. It's got a
And when
battery on the inside.
You run that right to your pacemaker?
Run it right to the pacemaker, and you're good to go.
Oh, that's
Do you,
excellent.
Casey, do you mind if I ask how much they cost?
$35.
Oh, you said- okay.
$37.99.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, $38. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One other question.
Yeah.
Can you strut around the room one more time?
Hell yeah, I got
For the music.
Is our camera picking these up? I hope so, man. Because that is the best, dude.
They're
Casey.
awesome. They're really awesome.
Thank you. Dude, we should all get them. We should have show light up shoes.
I agree.
I will get
I
them.
agree.
I'll gladly
like it.
get them.
And then, Kathy, you could teach us a little short dance routine.
Oh man.
All right, here's the deal, though.
Whatever our next live event is, we have to do
We
that.
have to order the shoes at the same time so they all fail
work.
at the same
So they all work
Yeah.
at least for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because within a week, they'll
They'll
be
be
dead.
garbage.
By the way, this is my second pair of light up shoes.
Well, you know what? I think because Jace has a pair. He
Yeah.
wore them like twice, and then he was like,
Like the
"Meh."
regular blinkies?
No. He has what Casey has,
Okay.
and I feel like you told me you sent me the link, and that's why I ordered them.
Okay, wait. of these, like this style,
not like not
Well, 'cause
metallic like that.
The
but
other
yeah.
ones that I have they're a cloth white shoe, and the whole shoe lights up with these LED lights.
Okay.
And they're really, really cool.
How much are
Remember
those?
Probably the same. Those might have been like
All right.
50, but
Do you
even.
remember, do you remember the gloves you could get where the fingertips would all light
Yeah,
up? Like
yeah.
That's what that sounds like.
So I mean,
the
listen,
other ones.
the whole battery and LED technology is just taking
Cray.
fashion to a whole new
Absolutely.
Our fashionista.
The high fashion.
All right, I brought something very old. Casey brought something brand new.
Nick has a troika.
And we are playing show and tell.
All right, Nick. Show the class what you have.
or the lights going off.
Can you dance? Or has been used in a pitch battle during a war.
Very little dancing, but I do have three things. Two of them are related and from my childhood. The third is something that I've referenced on the show many times, and so I'll start with that.
How is it?
It's my 1984 Topps traded.
Oh my God!
Doc Gooden autographed rookie baseball card.
Wow.
And
was this the Hampton Inn?
This was the George Washington Motor Lodge, right off of 202. There's a Home Depot there now. Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry were there signing autographs. It was $8 a pop to get their autographs.
And how much is it worth now?
At least $4. I don't know. I bet you if I could find a Mets fan who was willing to buy it, I could probably sell it. But at the time, I bought it. I bought it from Classic Collectibles in the Gateway Shopping Center, and it cost me $30 to buy, and then I paid $8 more for the autograph.
Well, and at this point, you have to keep it. I mean, it's part of
Oh, yeah.
what
It's
you're
part of
known
the
for
legend.
here.
It is mint condition.
So you have Darryl Strawberry, and do you have Doc Gooden as well?
Well, this is the Doc Gooden.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this is the Doc Gooden, and by the way, on the front of it says Dwight Gooden, and on the back it says Dwight Gooden, but he signed it Doc Gooden. So
that might make it more worthwhile.
Yeah,
He signed it with his nickname.
Topps put out a few different collections every year.
Yeah.
So they would put out like their normal baseball card set, and then they would put out like rookies sets or traded collections or limited or whatever. This was a Topps traded, which made it a little bit more rare and a little bit more collectible.
Why is it not worth much? Did Doc just fizzle out as a baseball player?
That had part to do with it, but in large part, it's just the glut of baseball cards that came out in the 80s and the early 90s. There was this. It was
like cash.
Well, it was kind of like Bitcoin at the time or whatever. I mean, people spent so much money. There was an investment dollar figure attached to it, but I don't know if these things were ever worth that. But people were willing to pay for that. So that's what they cost at the time. So, it's my very classic 1984 Doc Gooden signed baseball card.
Right.
And I knew this was going to happen when I saw Nick's stuff. Because when we originally talked about this, I had something, and when we said we were going to do it, I couldn't remember. I remember what.
You remember what it is?
I remember what
Good.
it is.
All right, well, we'll do this again.
All right.
Yeah, if we do it again, I know what it is.
I just thought of something now. I thought of something that I have to fix it, but I'll bring it in.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Nick, what else do you have?
So the other two are interrelated, and I don't know if you guys ever had this book, but I got this when I was probably 5 or 6 years old. It's called My Book About Me.
Oh my God, I have that.
Okay, so Casey, you and I are the same age.
Yeah.
And it's a Dr. Seuss book. It's Dr. Seuss and Roy McKee, and basically they ask you 150 questions about yourself, and you fill them in as a 5 or 6 year old.
See, my book was, I think I got ripped off. My book is My Book About Nick McElwain.
Oh, yeah.
Weird. You didn't even know him.
I didn't even know him then.
But
That's great.
I was, you could do some drawings. So here's a drawing of a son.
That's so cute.
And a
then
hamburger.
A guy. No, Preston. That's not a hamburger.
Hang on. Let me see if I can guess what that is.
Airplane?
No.
I think it's
Bus.
the ocean.
No.
Wait,
It's a guy with a lot of eyes and noses.
Okay.
Wait, how do you remember that?
Because I remember going over this with my mom at one point, and she,
Okay.
it was a
Nick
big
doesn't
deal.
have many childhood memories.
Yeah.
He just recalls one or two.
I had to write them down. First of all, there's one thing you should know. Am I a boy or am I a girl? Well, I'll tell you. I am a ... boy.
Yay!
I weigh 60 pounds. How tall am I?
Thank you very much, Marissa. Our next guest is joining us via... I get it. We're playing The Wall. Okay. Is joining us on the phone right now, and he is the host of The Wall, Season 6. You can find it Mondays on NBC/Peacock as well. 9 o'clock is when it's on locally. But yeah, 6 seasons game show's been on.
It's pretty
and
damn
doing
good
very,
run.
very well. And he's a phenomenal host at all kinds of stuff. We would like to welcome Mr. Chris Hardwick to the program today. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on an almost Thursday.
Yes. Dude, on Monday, we start counting down immediately to try to make it to the
I don't
weekend.
even listen. I'm a toddler parent. Like I don't even know what year it is most of the time. Like, so
How old are your kids? You have one? How many?
We have a daughter. She's almost 4. I don't know she'll be 4 in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So,
when do you leave?
And it's
when do you leave toddler territory?
I think we're almost there. Actually,
Okay.
I think it's around 4, between 4 and 5. And it's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. But you really. You really just lose your sense of time, like friends that you think you haven't seen in a couple months. It's like, oh, I haven't seen them in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we understand that you're holding down the fort. Your wife is out of town, and so you're doing. Is it a Mr. Mom scenario when you're left to?
Well, she's back in town now. There was a Mr. Mom scenario last week. And it went really well. I was really like, I was, usually mom has all the answers and dad's like, I got to ask mom. But I'm doing okay. I was like,
good for you.
Yeah,
Success.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, so long time ago, I was in the studio audience of The Price is Right. My sister took me, and it was,
that's
Bob.
awesome.
Bob was the host. It was back in the original thing. And I was absolutely shocked at how small the studio was, because on television, it looks massive. Now, the wall looks gigantic. Is that as big as it seems in that studio?
So that's actually the reverse. It's when people see it for the first time, they're like, "Oh my God, it's like 4 stories high." But I have to just back up to your Price is Right story, because when we shot Talking Dead, almost the entire series 1 floor above where they shoot Price is Right.
Wow.
So I would take guests down after the taping, just like run down the stairwell, because they would leave the games out like in the hallway, and they would leave the wheel. And so we'd go down and spin the wheel. And as long as I've been working in television, I was still surprised that when you spun the wheel, it didn't go. You had to make that noise yourself. It was just creaky. I mean, it was still an awesome experience. I think I only ever hit $1 one time, but it was,
It's iconic. There's something just hypnotizing about game shows. I've always been a big fan. I've been on a kick watching old Tattletales episodes. Wow. Which is just as low tech as you can get. But this is so, if people aren't familiar with it, the basic, it centers around essentially a giant Plinko board, but explain the other elements of the wall for people who aren't familiar.
So the wall's like 5 things. It's like 5 games, and you get pulled in because they all have these amazing stories. And so that's why I say it's like 4 or 5 games in one. It's like trivia and strategy. It's a little Vegas-y. There's a game of chance. And then there's this like real human element to the game. And
that became
kind of like a real human show.
That became a thing a while ago, Chris, where they started to introduce the backstory. And I was raised by Wolverines and or whatever, and some sort of story that gives you the context. But I'll tell you what, there is an actual dramatic, suspenseful element to watching those damn balls go down the wall, because that game works just at that level. It's intriguing.
I completely agree with you, and if the show had just been that, I still would have loved hosting it. I just, like, when the colored balls fall down the thing, I'm like, it activates my cat brain. Like, I can't help but see them bounce around and where they're going to go. But the sort of the stuff that really keeps you on the edge of your seat is just because you really, really care about them and root for them, and it's amazing when they win, and it's heartbreaking when they don't. And but again, everyone on the show is just so lovely that I was thinking back. I've had a very long career, decades long, going back to the 1900s, and on the shows that I'd hosted before are fun, like, usually kind of snarky, At Midnight, Singled Out, all these different kinds of shows. Even Talking Dead was very emotional, but it's just the stakes on the wall are real. Like, Talking Dead was amazing, but The Walking Dead was not a documentary. Like, it was an amazing show, but it was, it was fictional. But The Wall is like, the stakes are real. This money can change their lives, change the lives for their community. So it's just been a real joy to host.
Well, 6 years means it's caught on. People love it. So kudos to you for being on a successful network game show.
Yeah, and Chris, I just got a text from our afternoon drive time jock. His name is Brent Porsche. That's his real name, and he says, I absolutely love in all caps. I absolutely effing love The Wall. Ask him, how do we get on the show? And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean probably him and his fiance.
How does Brent Porsche get on? First of all, I have to give a huge shout out and thank you to Brent. That was very kind that he texted in. So thank you very much, Brent. I'm not involved in the casting process. I'm not sure how NBC would feel if I was like, hey, I got these friends who are over in Philly.
I'm sure there's a violation there somewhere.
Oh, I asked. A friend of mine was a game show host. Todd Newton was his name. He was a game show host on Family Game Night. And I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun. I've got a family that he's like, dude, shut up. I can't do that. Are you kidding me? But any idea how people can? Obviously, you cast people. This people can submit somewhere. Is there? Can you go to the website and do it?
Well, at the moment, no, because we're not in production. But if the show gets picked up again, which hopefully it does, then at that point there would be an announcement, and they would sort of open up for casting. And so if that does happen, I could just call back in and just let Brent know.
We'll gladly take that call and pass the information to Brent.
But I'm also due for. I got to come back and perform in Philly. I got to come back. I was in Pottstown at Soul Joel's last year.
Oh yeah,
and, which is just outside. But I would love to come back to Helium. It's just such a great club, and I love Philly, so I would love to come back and see you guys in person. I don't think I've seen you in person
I was looking,
years.
Chris, I was looking at the last time I had information, doing a little bio sheets and research sheets. It said 2020 was the last time. Wow. So,
Oh, my God. That's right.
Yeah.
You were one of the last. There were 2 cities I did before the pandemic. It was Philly and San Francisco. So I completely, because everything that happened right before lockdown feels like it was 10 years before.
Yeah,
so
it does.
Time just dilated. So that's right. I was there in 2020, so it's been 5 years. I really got to come back and see you guys.
No, and you feel, honestly, looking back at your career, which is a storied career, you've done a ton of stuff, and you've also been at sort of the nexus, the ground zero for a number of things, and you were talking about Talking Dead, and we have sort of bemoaned over the years, and we're right, obviously in your nerdist wheelhouse, and we're all into the same things that you are. We're, a collection of people who love that genre stuff and pop culture stuff. But we just savored the notion of those times when you could collectively, the new episodes aired. Let's break into discussion groups. Let's talk. And you fostered that with Talking Dead, and then obviously with the Breaking Bad version as well, and Better Call Saul, and all that stuff. And you just don't find it anymore. Even with Stranger Things, which is, again, a global phenomenon, you still have to really just pay attention to the delayed viewing habits of people, and it's harder to get that going. How do you feel about that? Do you see any opportunity to revitalize that sort of group watching thing?
Well, I guess it's just up to, groups deciding to watch stuff at the same time. That's what we had to do in the old days.
Yeah.
The television changed so much from the time that Walking Dead started in 2010, 2011, to by the time it ended. And so, look, things grow, things change, things evolve. I just feel very lucky that we got to be a part of what really kind of feels like the last bit of the old way of television. Like, it's so funny to think, like, Sunday nights we had this appointment that we would all watch TV together, and then, people would turn a channel on. They probably knew the number of AMC. Like, no one knows channel numbers anymore.
Right.
So, like, it really was just a magical time for what we were doing. But,
it was.
Yes, but now, like, there's podcasts, there's all sorts of ways, but it's just where we all were kind of directed to go to one place at the same time. Now we kind of have to make the effort to all collectively do stuff at the same time so we can have these conversations.
Yeah, and it's lost a little bit of the
joy.
I guess
there's
so.
a general
Because of that.
joy.
I mean, we grew our audience substantially, Chris, when Lost was playing on TV, and we would have breakdown discussions after the show, the day after, and it was boom, we saw a noticeable change in people joining.
Why is there a polar bear?
Yeah, exactly. That shark had a Dharma emblem on its fin.
Yeah.
But, it was similar to what happened with you in Walking Dead. You made it a thing. People got on board. It exploded. And we're in a different space now in that, we can do a special feature on a show that we watched, but it's not I have to watch it now any longer, unfortunately. And
the joy was watching
kind of whenever you feel like it.
I tell you what,
do I binge it or not?
The lead should be the joy of watching it with people collectively, and it's lightning in a bottle. And you don't want to sound like in my day we had this and we had that, but it's something we were talking nostalgically Preston just had the opportunity to review we talked about his coming to Philadelphia 30 years ago, down to the day. And he was starting at WDRE here in Philadelphia, just about the time you were starting on KROQ in California. So, I mean, you don't want to become overly nostalgic, but, these are magical milestones. Do you remember your first time on air and any recollections about KROQ? Because also an alternative rock station, and what it was like at that time for you.
Do I remember my first time on the air was when I got hired. I went on, Jenny and I went on to promote Singled Out. We went on the Kevin and Bean show. It was 1995. It was the shows were spring break. The Singled Out premiered. Our first episodes were at spring break in Lake Havasu. And so we went on K-Rock in LA to promote it in 1995. And K-Rock was really like at its apex in 1995 and really helping to direct like music. I mean, it was like grunge, Soundgarden and Nirvana and Alanis Morissette and Garbage and just like all these really incredible bands. And so we went on to promote it. And for whatever reason, Kevin Weatherly, the program director, had the producer, Frank Murphy, run in and say, hey, our program director just called and he wants to know if you want a job here. And I thought it was a bit. And I was like, yeah. Because when I was a kid, I had these like dual cassette tape decks and I would make little radio breaks with songs from the radio. And so it was like, it was a real dream come true. And then I learned what that actually meant. It was still a great job, but they put me on overnights, which is like, is good. It's good because I was literally the only person in the station, but it's like such a low key time to be on that they don't even track numbers.
Yep.
So it was like, but it was still an amazing, I got to see so many great concerts and I got to be present for like really the heyday of that kind of alternative music, kind of directing pop music. And so it was amazing. I've really gotten to do some fun, cool stuff.
That is amazing. And if we talk about, they've since discontinued the music channels of MTV. The regular content, I guess, is going to stay intact. But there was something bittersweet about that. Any memories? Because you obviously you cut your teeth on MTV.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, look, the Singled Out itself, I have flashes of because we would shoot so many episodes at once. We did 320 some 25, 26 episodes of that show. I can't even remember, 27, 28, something like that. But I do remember like going out and getting to do like the spring breaks, the beach houses over the summer, the 1995 Video Music Awards. I got to do stuff like from the audience and the red carpet and stuff. So I was on the 1995 Video Music Awards and it was like, and that's where I became friends with Rob Zombie, like his White Zombie was performing and then we kind of nerded out and then we've been friends ever since. And so it was like, it was really incredible, like it for a kid who grew up with MTV. I was like exactly the right age when MTV started. You just couldn't have been like people at MTV were more famous to me than almost anyone else on television. So it was a big deal to me to get to work there.
All right, Chris, we're, similar age. So when, or maybe you're a little bit younger.
38.
No, you're younger than me, actually. But in those MTV spring break weekends, weeks, whatever, were they the sex fantasy for everyone that we had been led to believe that they were?
I mean, I don't want to dash any, like, how do you really want the real answer? Like, I remember when I went to the beach house thinking it was going to be like, oh my God, it's going to be crazy because the ones I'd seen, it was an incredibly controlled environment. They had, I feel bad now. If this is like Son, the Tooth Fairy's there's no Santa. There's no MTV Santa. And they, they would sort of crowd people into the corner of a pool. It was just like they had people come in from the city and, just a handful of people, and they'd crowd them into the corner and get a really tight shot so it looked like, and they'd go, okay, splash around, and be like, oh, we're here at the beach house. It's really crazy. Coming up, Sheryl Crow, Soundgarden,
Yeah.
And so it was a very sedate.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, though, it fed the fantasy, and that's all it was supposed to do.
Yep.
I wanted to bring up the fact that we talked obviously about the Talking Dead and the MTV stuff, but you also were at the beginning with the Nerdist and the different podcasts and so on and so forth. You were right at the beginning of all that. Watching all that become what it's become over the years, was it what you kind of had in mind, or has it diverted? Is it diverted for better or for worse?
I mean, I think it's better. Like it was. I started mine in 2010, and there were existing podcasts at the time. Marin was doing his podcast. I think he started in 2010. I have another friend named Jackie Cation who started in 2006. Corolla, Jimmy Pardo, Doug Benson. So there were I think Ricky Gervais. There were other people who were doing podcasts, but it was an early wave, and I think I just got lucky with the timing. And for me, a lot of it was I was having trouble working in the traditional media business. I would always get really close on jobs, and then at the last minute, it would go to someone else. So I was just like, screw you guys, I'm going to start a podcast. It was like a reaction, and it ended up being one of the greatest things ever. I got to talk to all these amazing people. We've been, been doing the show for 15 years, and it's funny, there are people who I know that my show was the first podcast they ever did. Now they have podcast networks, so, but I think it's great because it's sort of, now it means that people don't have to wait around to be hired by a company. You can just go start your own thing. And kind of looping back around to our community viewing, that is one of the very positive things about social media, is that we can foster our own communities on social media, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. So it's just changed, and I think it's our responsibility as older people to, well, not old, but we're mature.
Yeah,
we're a little, our hair's a little.
I'm old. You're
above the
mature.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have eyebrow hairs that loop around and poke us in the eye. We're getting older, but I think it's our responsibility to sort of recognize that and not necessarily, be negative about it, but just sort of how do we evolve and embrace it and move forward. But I just feel lucky that I've gotten to do the podcast for so long and done, almost 1,200 episodes and literally talked to pretty much every dream guest and beyond. So, and I think it's great that other people get to do that too. So I don't know. I feel very positively about it. And I still feel look, if you have an idea, no matter how, the more specific, the better. You can talk into your phone if you want to. You're in a radio station with big fancy equipment. Remember the old days, if you wanted to do that, you had to rent a studio and you had to get an engineer to record it for you and transfer it over to a format that you could use. And so now it's just the barriers are gone. So it's now instead of 4 companies deciding who gets to see you, it's it's an army of invisible robots as an algorithm.
So that has to be better,
right? Hey, Chris, I wanted to let you know about a milestone that happened in my household over the Christmas break, and I'm only telling you this because you're the son of a professional bowler, but my 18-year-old...
Oh, I love it already.
My 18-year-old son finally beat me in a bowling game over the Christmas break, and it was a milestone. He only beat me in one, but did you ever top your father in a bowling match, even just one game?
No, because my dad had pretty much retired by the time. I started bowling when I was 3, and my dad retired when I was about 6 or 7, and he just didn't bowl that much anymore.
Wow.
First of all, I hope after your son beat you, he held the ball in the air a la Highlander and said, "There can be only one." But my dad retired when he was 36, 37, and he had this really funny theory. He was the longer I don't bowl, the better I was. So it's his legend grew. I mean, he did amazing things. He's one of the greatest professional bowlers in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
We're talking about Billy Hardwick, by the way.
Billy Hardwick, yeah. So there were a lot of things he did first. He's still, even though he retired young, is still in the top 20 bowlers of all time. Wow. And but he just knew he didn't have the passion and the drive for it. And so in his mind, he was well, if I can't be what I was, it's better that I just let it go. And he opened a bowling center in Memphis in 81, I think. And so he really loved being in the bowling business and going and socializing and talking about bowling, and people loved him. And so it was, I only have memory of bowling with him maybe 3 times.
Okay.
And, and I did not beat him.
I wanted to ask, because I was doing research and I did not even realize this was in your resume, but you've done musical theater, and in particular, I was blown away to read that you'd performed the role of Stacey Jacks in Rock of Ages.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the original production.
The original. When was this?
This was 20 years ago. I was just thinking about this the other day, like, oh my God, it was like we did our first run of shows in 2005, and then it picked up again in 2006. Some friends of mine were doing this show. It was sort of this like cool $1 million karaoke show. And it was, like a bunch of 80s glam metal songs, like wrapped around a story. And we did it in a bar initially, and then it kind of blew up.
This is the role that Tom Cruise plays in the movie.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't even feel bad about this name drop, but I was moderating a panel at Comic-Con in, 2014 or something, 2013, 2014, and Tom Cruise was on the panel. It was for Edge of Tomorrow, I think, which is a great movie.
It is a great movie.
And so, but everyone thought it was called Live, Die, Repeat because that was on the poster. Yep. Anyway, so I hadn't met him before the panel, and I introduced the entire cast. He walks out, and I'm in Hall H in San Diego, where I felt very at home. I love that being there. And Tom Cruise comes out. Everyone's cheering like 7,000 nerds. And the first thing he says, he leans to the microphone and he goes, "Hey, Chris, you and I have something in common." And I freeze. And I don't freeze easily. I'm like, what's happening? How does he know my name? What's he talking about? And he just goes, "Rock of Ages." And I'm like, oh, my God. How do you know that? And this is on YouTube somewhere. And all of a sudden he goes, "I want to know what love is." And then I go, "I want you to show me." And then we sing like a good chunk of the song together. So like that, the Rock of Ages was the gift that kept on giving because I got to sing a duet.
Oh, wow.
With, Mr. Tom Cruise.
You had to have asked yourself, is this really happening while it was going on, man?
Yeah, I know. I was like, did I die on the way to Comic-Con? Wow. I died on the way to Comic-Con.
Oh, my
And Tom
God.
Cruise works for heaven. And this is how so like...
Oh, my God.
Really silly.
Chris, so to double back about, you being a fan of great shows and obviously your success in talking about them and having programs surrounding, the titles that Steven mentioned, Walking Dead and Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. What are you watching now that you recommend to people? Because that's what we do now. We recommend shows. Everybody does. Hey, have you seen this? Did you see that? Or what are you watching?
Oh, I got a great bunch of answers for you. So we have an almost 4-year-old. Literally, almost everything we're watching is what she's watching. So,
Bluey.
I could do a Talking Unicorn Academy, which is a show that's on Netflix. We've seen every Bluey episode, which is a phenomenal show. We've seen Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, you guys.
Oh, I'm so glad that's back. That kids are still into it.
If you have to go potty, stop and go right away. And wash and be on your way. Like, I'm telling you, even saying this to you out loud, I'm like, I should host a talking any one of these shows.
Oh, that would be terrific.
Have a very serious conversation on the couch about Daniel Tiger.
Chris,
we watched Frozen 2 on a loop when Lydia was out of town.
Frozen.
But she also loves Nightmare Before Christmas. She fell in love with The Grinch this year.
Okay.
This was her first year she was aware of Christmas. And so almost everything we're watching are shows our daughter watches.
Are you trying mightily to hold back on just exploding all of the genre stuff you love out there for her to consume?
Okay. Yeah. It's a great question. I was like, I wonder if she's ready for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a movie that was her first like real live action. There's so much amazing animation now, more than when we grew up in the 1900s, that she just watches animation, like live action stuff bores her. But Chitty Chitty Bang Bang she loved. So I was like, well, that has a shiny car in it. She might be ready for Star Wars. So I showed her New Hope, and she was into parts of it. She really liked the robot. She loved the droids.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed the movie. And at a certain point, she turned to me. She was like, "Wait, isn't that supposed to be his sister later on?" No, that didn't actually happen.
Even she picked up on it. Yeah.
But she loved Chewbacca, like all the things that you would expect
a kid to like,
a toddler would like. So we're starting to get in. We're starting to get in that, but we don't want to like rush it because we just don't want to spoil it for her. We're going to let her kind of discover those things.
Let me ask you, and if your area of expertise is this, and I will trust your opinion. I'm old enough to have seen Star Wars, the episode 4, as they call it, when it premiered in the theater. I'd read the novelization, and I worked at a bookstore and got it. And I'd been disappointed by Logan's Run, and I was like, okay, this is going to be something different. I like George Lucas. But Lucas contends that right from the beginning, the movies were made for kids. And I don't think that was the case. I think what it was for the kid in every one of us. But I don't think the movies themselves were directed at kids. I mean, they were not dismissive of kids. But would you agree with that? Or am I have I lost touch with you?
I mean, I think it was a different time when movies and even cartoons, like even the cartoons we grew up watching, weren't made for kids. They were made to play before films that everyone went to watch, the old Warner Brothers and Disney shorts, So like the Star Wars, he made it, so he can say whatever he thinks it is. Star Wars, I felt like was for everyone. My dad took me to see it in the theater, and he loved it. I loved it. I would say Empire is less for kids.
Yeah, yes.
And then they really flipped it around the cul-de-sac for Jedi, which definitely was more for kids with the Ewoks, which were basically just adorable house Wookiees, just pet Wookiees. They were just these adorable. And even the letters of their names are similar. They are clearly part of the same, evolutionarily, they're related in some way, and they were adorable. And I felt those are for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the Wookiees and the Ewoks and those were kids. And
I just remember
Empire. No,
I just remember the original being the approach was this is a return to Buster Crab, and this is a return to Flash Gordon and that kind of those movie serials, and it was supposed to be nostalgic in that way. And if you're a younger person or a kid, you get in on that level. But not that I'm going to. Not this is going to consume the rest of my life trying to figure out what the case was for that. But I figured I'd ask you.
The prequels were more for kids for sure. I think episodes 1, 2, and 3 were more for kids for sure. But I think Star Wars felt like it was for everybody. Empire not so much, and Jedi yes. So. That's just kind of my take on those.
Not to interrupt for just a moment, but Chris, I keep a running list of band names, of things that I hear people say that I think would make a great band name. I have now added House Wookiees to that list.
Yeah, because listen, Chewbacca, he gets to go outside, and then but the Ewoks, they're like little pets.
Yeah, pets. Yeah.
Don't let the Ewok out. Yeah. Don't let the Ewok out.
Who did not want an Ewok when that movie came out? You know?
All right, so I just had this realization. So, I have kids, but my kids are all grown, and my oldest, I tricked her into watching Star Wars because I told her it was a story about a princess, and it's not a lie. And they are rescuing a princess.
Yeah,
dude, Princess Leia was locked in a tower, and the fire-breathing dragon was the Death Star.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Dude, right?
I mean, it is a fairy tale. It is a fairy tale. You're absolutely right. It is like a space fairy tale. It's I think they would call it a space opera, but it really was a space fairy tale. You're right. She was, there was yes, Darth Vader was an evil witch, basically.
And then
And
like all classic princesses and fairy tales, a floating robot with hypodermics attached to it came in.
I got you to tell the truth.
Torture answers out of her.
Dude, but the Death Star breathed fire. I mean, I just blew my own mind.
You just blew your own mind.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, that is. You're absolutely right.
Well, listen. The Wall is obviously a success. We're hoping for another season on that. What else is in the works for you, Chris?
Wait, can I just go back to Star Wars for a second?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is you start to get older, and then you're like, well, look, Darth Vader, he's just a concerned dad who wanted his kid to grow up and get a job. He's hanging out with these hippies,
All right.
But I just it's like an invisible force. You can't see. Just go. Come on. Just come to work. Just come to work with me.
All right, let me ask you this, because I might as well take the opportunity, even though we're running a little bit late here. I have to ask you. I think the second trilogy has compared favorably in light of the J.J. Abrams run, which I think kind of went off the track. There's some very good stuff to recommend it, but I think the second Lucas trilogy ended up elevated by what followed that. Do you agree or disagree?
Do you mean 1, 2, 3? Episodes 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that a whole generation, I think like millennials grew up watching 1, 2, 3 because they were for kids. And, you know, the things that you see when you're a kid really expand your horizons. And those are the things that you attach to emotionally. And so I think the people that grew up watching 1, 2, 3, those are their movies, you know? And for us, we grew up watching 4, 5, 6. And so those are our movies. And we're like, yeah, but it's not like the old days. Like, yeah, but, you know, it just, that was our magic. And it's the same argument that people always have where they say, like, the best SNL cast was the one they grew up watching. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like, it's what you grew up watching that kind of expanded your horizons, and that's what you're gonna emotionally attach to. So yes, I do think they stood the test of time. And also largely, also for that reason. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I'm very like, hey, whatever you love, it's fine. You're not wrong because you have an opinion that you love something.
Yeah.
And so, I am very open. I'm not like a snobby nerd. Like I'm a very like open-minded nerd about stuff. Like some stuff, it's like, well, this is my opinion, and that's what I get. But I understand other people have different opinions.
No, I agree.
We're all unique, and that's okay. You know,
we
can all love stuff and still just talk about the fact that we love stuff, and it doesn't all have to be the same stuff.
Yeah.
So
there's sort of a reflexive industry now based on hating everything prematurely. YouTube movie reviews, and I'm like. They'll announce somebody like I remember when Rob Pattinson was announced, for the Batman. I'm like, yeah, this could be. Let's see what they do. And there was, everyone was crapping in their pants and pissing and moaning, and I'm like,
yeah, and also
give the guy a chance. You're not to be great.
And also, Stephen, we'll hear people majorly complain about movies or something we've been anticipating for a while. And yes, you may have been let down a little bit by how things have played out, but the way I look at it, Chris, is overall, was I entertained by that? Yes or no? Then it's a win.
Then
if
it works.
Was yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, that's been going on forever. I remember seeing an article like popped up on Instagram of someone saying that Beetlejuice was going to be like the worst thing ever, which is like, and it's like literally one of the, one of the icons of comedy cinema.
Yeah.
So like you go back, like any really great thing has someone who was like, yeah, I don't think so, And so, but again,
you're right. It goes all the way back to like Gone with the Wind, and even before that,
even before that,
yeah. You're right. You got to put it in perspective. There's always someone who's got to stick up their ass about it. Sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. But
listen, it's our responsibility to form our own opinions and not be reliant on what other people think. Who probably haven't even seen the thing yet.
Yeah.
Except for you. I pay attention to what Chris Hardwick says. That's my one caveat. So.
Yeah.
Well, then pay attention to this. If you have to go potty, stop and go right away. Wash and be on your way. Daniel Tiger.
Words of wisdom. All right. Well, listen, Chris, we got to run. Wall Season 6, new episodes Mondays on NBC. 9 o'clock. Could be able to check that out. And yes, you're overdue for a visit to Philly, so please come see us.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's so good to talk to you.
You too.
It will not be another 5 years. I hope to see you in Philly in person soon.
Appreciate it, brother. All right, Chris Hardwick, everybody. Take care, my man. We will talk to you soon.
Brent.
Yeah. All right. And thanks, Brent. I love it, man. He is the best. We could talk to him about anything.
He is great.
He's talk to him about anything.
But he's been at so much the center of so much of the stuff that we love.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never gotten the sense that he got carried away with himself.
Yeah.
He always seemed to be a guy who was one step removed going, can you believe I'm here?
And I hope he does a talking version, of whatever kid show. He could do all the kids shows.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely an audience for that.
All right, we are taking a break, friend. We'll come back in mere moments. We have some bizarre file stories along the way, so you hang out right where you are, and we'll be right over here.
Giant is my head.
I counted my teeth. I have 13 up top. I have 11 downstairs. You draw your hand, so it's little things like that throughout.
Is that book still available? I think that's an adorable concept because I want to fill it out.
That's my hair color. See, I drew it. I had a little bit blonder hair when I was a young boy. And so that's blonde with a little bit of brunette there.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time?
I think
you were doing the ombre look before it became popular.
I think it was 5 or 6, but there are some pop culture references on here.
Okay.
Like including my favorite song, where in the world I would like to live. Here's my address.
What's your
growing up.
favorite song?
Where'd you say, where would you like to live? Both of them. Answer both questions.
Let's see. Where would I like to live? I got to go back to that one.
All right.
Somewhere Hawaii, the beach.
I live in the United States. I circled the United States, and then I played tic-tac-toe on that page. Okay. And then England apparently made the list.
And then
what song? I want to hear. I want to hear your favorite song. Oh no! Oh my God!
Wow. All the way back then.
I know you will.
On Amazon for $10.
That's adorable.
It is 60 steps from my tree to the mailbox. My favorite color back at the time was red. Apparently, I owned 170 buttons.
Wow.
You would go around and get autographs from people in your life. So
Like Doc Gooden.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what started it. My Aunt Ann signed it. My Uncle Michael signed it. Our mailman, Ralph K. Lapp, signed
Your
it. Your
mailman.
Yeah. I got a policeman's autograph. I got an autograph of a man with a beard.
Don't you think that's amazing for a kid to do that? To basically be interviewed, but to talk about, to be able to express what they're experiencing. It's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I'm glad that I found it. I don't know if it was in my mom's house or in my house when I moved or whatever, but I like to collect leaves, rocks, food. There you go, food, cans, and autographs.
So this is okay. What else do you, Nick? What else do you have for the class?
Well, all right. So I was trying
If
to
you're
find
just
that.
tuning in, this is a show and tell. On
Well,
the
you do the next
Preston
item.
Show.
Give me, and I'll look through it and see if I can find anything.
And if I were to get a birthday present that year, and I know that I didn't get it, but what I wanted was more than anything in the world, a BMX bike.
Wow,
that's a good one.
One of the questions: what kind of woman are you attracted to?
That's a good one.
And then this is just something that was. We can go over it if you want, but it's an autobiography that I wrote of myself in 6th grade. So I used sort of that as inspiration or whatever.
A Nick in Time.
The title
What
of it
a
is
great title.
Wow.
A Nick in Time, yeah. And I believe I had to write the title page, Casey, had to appear in perfect cursive.
Wow.
So that's where I did that. So these guys were stored next to each other.
Read a little bit of that if you would.
All
please.
right.
I'd like to hear
the dedication.
some of it.
Okay.
Call me Ishmael.
Chapter 1. Although I've only been alive for 11 years and 11 months, I think I've had an interesting life so far. I know that I've been lucky to do many things and go many places and have had opportunities that other children have not had.
You wrote this?
Yeah. Wow. I am thankful for the good. I had a ghostwriter.
Yeah. Okay.
I am thankful for these good things and also for being a part of a strong, loving family. Well, that's nice. My family background is rather unusual. My mother is Irish and Italian. Her mother's parents, my maternal great-grandparents, were born in Ireland and came to America in the early 1920s. I knew both of my great-grandparents, Martha and James Kelly, and I got to spend quite a bit of time with them when I was a baby before they died.
That's very good writing.
Really
And
well written.
do you mention the raisins and the meatballs, which I'm a fan of?
I don't, but here's an interesting fact. I think I may have mentioned this on the air at one point. This is about my mom, Kelly. She did whatever jobs she could, waitressing, house cleaning, caring for other children, and she got a job as a cashier for the Acme supermarket near her home in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. She made $17.50 a week with the Acme and raised 4 daughters. Wow. Her second daughter, Martha, was my mother's mother. She died of cancer when she was 47 before I was born. I'm sorry I never knew her. I think we really would have liked each other.
Is she Nick? Is she the aunt that said cassette?
That was my dad's mom.
Oh, okay.
Had the cassette player, yeah. So there's also all sorts of different chapters in here.
That you have that is so freaking wonderful.
Here's a picture of me when I was 5 months old. I'll hold it for the camera. But Casey, you mentioned the big head.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought that was a jack-o'-lantern.
And look at how tiny you have written quite a bit of text in this book.
Oh, is that
Nick.
typed?
Oh, it's typed. Okay, I couldn't tell from here.
So,
well, this is written, but the portion of the autobiography is typed.
And your mom held on to this?
Yeah.
See, I think if my mom had been around, I think she would have had a story.
Yeah, I've kept a lot of stuff like that my kids
I think
have.
moms are probably.
Oh my God! Here's my dog from 1986, Tugger.
Tugger.
As a puppy, and then
It's a picture, right? It's not in there.
Yeah, and then here's. Oh my God! He's still in
God! Oh my God!
And here's me, my mom, and my 2 brothers at Disney World in the spring of 1985 with another dog, Pluto.
Hey, Nick, has your son, has Ben seen this?
He's not.
Oh.
No, I think we'll
blow
share it
his
this
mind.
weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to go through that. I want to look at Tugger.
Because I told you, my dad, he spoke into a digital recorder for about 4 or 5 hours in different segments.
That's cool.
And gave me a chronicle of our early lives and everything, and I'm going through it right now.
Wow. That's really cool, Nick.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
well
awesome.
done.
Hey.
All right,
And then the third?
Well, I think
We don't have
that
time?
was his third thing.
Oh, that was your third?
Yeah, Doc Gooden, the Book of Me, and the
May I say,
autobiography.
all you guys had good stuff.
And by
Yeah.
the way, Nick, a number of people are texting in saying that your Doc Gooden card is worth about $445.
I'll sell it to you right now.
Sold.
I don't know if you guys knew that I'm an artist. This is a bird.
With a penis.
Now, I think
That's a tail.
That's
Oh.
that's,
that's
a
a
says
red
tail, but it
penis
does look like a
swallow.
penis.
That's the Dr. Seuss bird.
All right.
That's the bird I drew.
Nice job, Nick McElwain. Thank you. It's show and tell, and I think we have time for Marissa.
Marissa, what do you have for the class?
She just ran out of her office.
Yeah.
So she didn't know she was going to be doing it.
Yeah, she was telling me out before we started the segment. She had one just in case we didn't have enough, or we had too much time.
She's filling out one of those Dr. Seuss books right now?
Well, she wasn't sure if the segment didn't go anywhere and we had extra time, we could put her in. But
She's got a big package.
We got
of-
just enough to do another one, and then we got a break because we have some guests coming up in a moment. All right, Marissa.
Is that what is that, a canned ham?
Oh my God.
She just dumped something heavily on
All right.
the counter.
I mentioned this before, and you guys kind of lit up. And it lives in my house, and I get to see it every day, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Whoa.
It is an old-time adding machine.
Oh, wow.
Or the calculator, if you will, but it's a type that you would find in like a store.
And you pull the lever down when
and
you.
the clerk would print up your receipt.
Or at Magnata and Sons office in South Philadelphia, because this was my grandmother's adding machine where she kept the books.
Let's hear some noise from that. Let's hear it. Crank it. There you go.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. When my grandparents had one, it was a little bit bigger than that. And as a kid, I played with it all the time. I loved
You're
it.
fascinated. Preston, we used to have the old, Underwood typewriters. I mean, the real old, the kind of stuff Tom Hanks collects. And you're fascinated by them as a kid.
Wait, so are these bells?
Yeah, no, that should be where the printer ribbon is.
Oh, maybe that's why it doesn't print anymore.
Well,
There's a ribbon that goes between those. There's two reels.
Technically,
that hold
Preston, it's an adding machine / Sibian.
that. It's about that size.
So there's still like there's still addition, or there's still numbers on it from the last thing my grandmother typed, because my grandmother like never stopped working. So my dad or my grandfather probably just like handed her a calculator, and she just like swapped it out. Was like, all right, I'm done with these numbers, and boom, on to the next thing.
What was it an accounting firm? What was it, Marissa?
A HVAC plumbing company.
Oh, okay.
So they were right there on Snyder Avenue, and my grandmother was in the office and kept the books.
See, I want something like. Oh, okay, I have another idea then. Okay, you guys are giving. Kathy, do you have any ideas now? You said you
Oh,
do.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all
I
right.
know. I remember exactly what it was.
Yeah,
and
I wrote
know
down
where
a
it
couple
is.
more things, so I'll be ready for another show and tell.
Frankly, I think you guys all killed it.
Yeah, this says it's a Burroughs portable adding machine.
Look at how portable it is. Only weighs 112 pounds.
And
my
this,
God.
This is the type of thing that if you were at a general store or something like that, because my grandparents owned a general store, and that's what they would use to ring up the receipts.
And Preston, you put this in like an antique store out,
yeah.
In any remote area, and a little extra dust on it, you could sell it for a lot of money.
Yeah, totally.
I bet you could, right? I mean, these things, people love these things.
Yeah, I was in a store just this weekend, and they had things like this all over decorating
How
the
much?
store.
I'm sorry.
No, it was a clothing store, and this
Oh.
was just filling out the shelves.
So is that out as decoration in your house?
It
Or you
is.
just- yeah.
It's in all
Marissa's
my.
got, I'm sorry to interrupt, she's got some cool antiques. You have antique cameras, radios? Or have you started doing radios yet?
I'd love to get an
I
antique
have a
radio.
radio that's my boyfriend's grandfather. So all the cameras you'll see in like a Zoom call or when I did my TV show, they were in the background. Those are all my grandparents.
They're kind of like the ones that you look down at, you know?
Yeah.
You look down into they're really cool.
So it's everything from my grandparents, the old ones, like the Polaroid ones, to the ones my dad used in the 60s and
Like
the 70s.
A Browning camera, like the
One like that from
Yeah,
my grandfather,
right.
yeah, and then a Nikon from my parents and things like that. And then I have photos that I realized later that were like developed on that and are printed and hanging on my wall from those cameras.
Cool.
Wow. Oh, excellent. Well done,
That's
Marissa.
awesome.
I love
Thanks,
it.
guys.
show and tell.
First ever Preston and Steve show and tell. and Marissa's adding machine. That's really cool. All right, so now we've given some ideas to
Yes,
Steve
now
and
we have
Kathy.
ideas. Yes.
The next time, I think we'll have a full class participation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I sent you guys the link for my shoes. You guys might want to get them now before everybody gets them.
All right, well, thank you guys. Let's take a break. Come back in a second. When we return, Mr. Alex Lifeson of Rush, talking about his new band, Envy of None. His fellow bandmate, Andy Kern, will be joining us as well. We'll be back in a moment. Don't forget it's Tattoos Day as well. You want a Preston and Steve tattoo? Text the word tattoo to 39333. It's from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing on South Street. We'll be back in a few.
Preston and Steve.
Quickly, Nick, you wanted to plug the Big Climb coming up.
Yeah, we're really excited for it this year. Big Climb Philly benefits Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I've done Big Climb in the past, and it's been in a building in Center City. But this year, it's at the Link, which I'm really excited about. I got to go down to the Link yesterday. We did sort of a backstage tour and places of that building that I'd never been before, and what the course is going to look like. And it's a bunch of stairs at the beginning, and then basically up and down the stands as you go, and it's sort of around the building in the lower concourse. So it's May 6th. I would love for you to join Team Luke. My nephew Luke is in remission from leukemia. He's doing really well. But LLS is just an awesome organization, and we'd love to have you be a part of it.
Bizarre File. Here it is.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Horizon Services, Plumbing and Electrical. Same-day emergency service. You can book now at horizonservices.com. We're going to start with something light. 5 human heads were found hanging from ropes at a beach in Ecuador as the country suffers a wave of violence related to drug trafficking.
I thought that was a new game.
No. The heads were located on a picturesque beach in Puerto Lopez.
Enjoy your vacation.
With police attributing the incidents to a conflict between criminal groups.
All right, so there was no hook on a tree that you had to try and swing the skull onto?
No,
like
to
that?
land the skull onto the peg or anything like that.
That's how I would play that, right?
Drug trafficking networks with links to transnational cartels are active in the area and have used fishermen and their small boats for their illicit activities. Images published by Ecuadorian media outlets showed a warning sign next to the heads depicted at alleged extortionists or of fishermen in the small fishing port of Puerto Lopez.
You should see the Ecuadorian version of hang gliding.
The ropes were fixed to 2 wooden poles on the beach. Fighting over territory and control of drug trafficking routes has triggered violent episodes across the Manabí province, where Puerto Lopez is located. Police controls in Puerto Lopez increased after a massacre left 6 people dead 2 weeks ago.
Well, I don't know social protocol, but I think 5 human heads is a little more punchy than just a tersely written postcard.
A second armed attack 3 days later left the same number of dead in Manta. Those controls failed to prevent this latest gruesome incident. That's a
Can you imagine that?
problem.
Can you imagine living in that world when that becomes a way to express your emotions?
5 heads hanging from poles. Wow, it's crazy. All right, so doctors in China were said to be baffled and stunned when a man showed up in the emergency room with a sweet potato in his butt. The unnamed...
How's it taste, buddy?
Yam jam.
Yam jam.
The unnamed 61-year-old apparently was bored enough one night that it made sense to play a little yam jam, Casey, with the 7-inch spud.
I know. I'll stick the sweet potato in my ass.
And then go to sleep with it still inside.
Oh, look. The tooth fairy came.
In the middle of the night, things got interesting when he woke up with a sudden intense abdominal pain.
What the hell's going on?
After attempting to break the tater up into smaller pieces and then trying to grip it with a wine bottle opener, a corkscrew. Both failed. Doctors determined that surgery was the way to go.
So this was clearly a raw sweet potato. I was thinking a cooked sweet potato.
When asked about how it got up there, the man said he didn't know and that it was an accident. You know?
Sometimes you fall on a sweet potato and it goes up your ass.
A customer was attacked with bear spray while entering a restaurant in West Hartford, Connecticut on Sunday.
How do you like it now?
Adding, according to a statement from the business, police said the assault took place on the sidewalk in the plaza after a verbal altercation between 2 men. In a post on social media, Chapapi Tea and Sweets said a suspect was detained following the assault, which occurred during their business hours.
Have you seen the way that bear spray comes out?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's unbelievable.
21-year-old Nicholas Maldonado was arrested and charged with breach of peace in the second degree and assault in the second degree.
Yeah, my brother, he bought a 2-pack when he was living in New Hampshire, and he found out, and because he wanted to see how it sprayed, that it's a one-time deal.
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
one and done.
One and done.
But
When
you empty it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chop Poppy was closed while staff sanitized the space. The business reopened for regular hours on Monday, and Chop Poppy did not provide details about how the victim's condition or about the victim's condition or suspect's identity.
When you said 2-pack, I was like, I thought you were going to say like there was a Tupac Shakur brand of bear spray.
Well, Chop Poppy opened up for 2-pack.
There we go. Yeah.
Right.
A woman living in Pinellas County, Florida, is suing her apartment management after she says spider bites led to the amputation of 2 of her toes.
Oh, my God.
Patricia Shields seeks monetary compensation, alleging that she had began noticing spiders within 2 weeks of moving into Grand Oak Apartments in November of 2024. Several months after losing her home to Hurricane Helene, she said, I was happy and I kept getting bit over and over again.
That seems weird. She lost her home and she was happy?
I don't understand. So it was always in the bathroom, she said. Unable to verify the type of spiders that could have bitten Shields, she says that medical records and statements from doctors back up her story. So the doctor comes in and goes, we have to amputate or you're going to end up losing your whole foot or leg. She recalled that she expected it to be a quick trip to urgent care. So I thought it was a joke. Court filings report show the defendants in the case deny Shields' allegations and claim the complaint fails to plead with specificity, and a motion to dismiss has been filed.
Yeah, I'm going to side with the doctors in this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems a little weird.
All right, and then one last story, and we will wrap it up. Is there nothing that artificial intelligence can't cause problems with? Well, you can take weddings off of that list, as a Dutch couple's marriage has been annulled because the person who officiated their wedding used a ChatGPT-generated speech that didn't meet legal requirements. The ceremony took place last April in the city of Zwolle. Instead of asking if they would fulfill their marriage duties, the officiant asked if they would continue supporting each other, teasing each other, and embracing each other.
So they're legally required to say something during the ceremony?
I believe so. Yeah, he said after they said I do, they were declared not only husband and wife, but above all, a crazy couple. Okay, so, but a judge ruled that they never actually swore to fulfill their legal marriage vows as required by Dutch law. The marriage has been removed from the city registry, but it's because they got their script from AI and they didn't follow all of the legal requirements. All right, and there you go. That is your bizarre file for this almost Thursday morning. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back in a second. If you've been listening to the show today, then you want to stick around because we've got a lesson question. It's going to come up somewhere in the program earlier today, and we'll get into trash and music news too, so stay there.
Saturday, May 6th. It's in the morning. All the information's up on my social media and on PrestonandSteve.com. But it's a great event, and it's going to be really cool to have it at the Link this year.
Nice. And you guys will be going up and down stairs as opposed to just all the way up, right?
There's a staircase in the close to one of the main entrances that goes up, I think, like 5 flights. And then so we go up that, and then we come down the ramps. And then we go up and down the stands quite a bit around the local concourse.
That's pretty cool.
And then down into like the locker rooms and the tunnels and stuff. So you come out onto the field at the end of it. And Preston, I think you had an event there last year, right? And
yes, it's with the Take Steps walk for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Yeah, and it's a cool place to have a charity event. So I'm psyched that it's there this year.
Excellent. All right. Well, good luck to you, sir. It's going to be awesome. I usually don't put a whole lot of stock in the national this day, national that day when it comes to food. Because sometimes we find out like there's multiple ones.
Yeah,
and, like
it's a
there's
bunch of crap.
National Pancake Days and stuff like that. Although we do talk about that one, but today it's National Grilled Cheese Day.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
I am a massive fan of a good grilled cheese sandwich. We've talked about the pairing with tomato basil soup, which is one of my favorites.
It's when you get tomato soup and a good grilled cheese. That's about
Yeah. It's a great snow day activity.
Yeah. What was the name of the place that we had?
Meltdown?
Meltdown.
Oh, man.
Yeah, mother of God.
They were so good. The problem is that they were overpriced. You know what I mean? Because they were in and around the area.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they're around that much anymore, but
I like riffs on the grilled cheese. I mean, I do like the standard easy way to go is just bread, butter, obviously to grill it with, and a good cheese. Even just your standard American slices will work just fine. But if you throw in a little cheddar and stuff like that, or Gouda, it can get much better. But there's stuff you can add to it like pesto, and tomato. Oh, yum, man.
Yeah.
There's a guy who listens to our show, and he lives in Idaho. And we talked about him before. He apparently has the greatest grilled cheese recipe of all time.
Liar!
And he will not give it to me in writing.
Really?
Yeah, he wants me to call him so he can talk me through the steps.
Are you going to do it?
No.
Why?
No, because it's not that.
You don't want to give your phone number.
No, not necessarily. No, because I make a good grilled cheese. I don't need your help.
All right,
bro.
what's your grilled cheese?
Listen, the secret ingredient is
love.
Is butter. Lots of butter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just as simple as that.
So I'm going to mention a bit. The Couch Tomato has a grilled cheese sandwich that is extraordinary, and it uses it. The toast is buttered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you. That's what makes it different than being toasted. Making it grilled is use either some butter or oil, but butter is usually the way to go. So let me ask you this fundamental technique question when it comes to grilled cheese: do you butter the bread?
No.
All right. How do you do it?
I do a straight up, and first of all, I have a griddle, so I like to make it on the electric griddle rather than on the frying pan or whatever. But I take a huge pat of butter and I stick that on the griddle and I let that melt, but not all the way.
Okay.
You know, just and then I throw the whole grilled cheese on that and I spread it around. Then I take another pat of butter and I put that on the top. I don't spread it. And then when it's time to flip it, I flip it and I allow that to melt and then I mix it around.
I was raised on buttering the bread.
I'm down with that.
You have to butter the bread.
Yeah.
But the tough part of that is when you take butter and you spread it on untoasted bread, it can sometimes tear the bread a little bit. And you lose a little bit of your integrity and
your cohesion.
Sandwich.
So what they do a lot of times on these Grateful Dead fish lots is they'll have a paintbrush and they will take already melted butter and they will spread it with the paintbrush, and that's how they.
That's a great way to do it too. If you have the time to melt the butter ahead of time and take a brush and brush it onto the bread, that's probably the best technique. But I have come around on throwing the butter onto the warm skillet, and then putting the bread on top of that. But then you have the mystery of that other side. What do you
have
take
to
it off,
do?
and then you throw down more butter and let that melt, or do your technique where you put it on ahead of time.
Yeah, I put that pat of butter, and it's a big old pat.
Do you guys remember a butter campaign that was give them a little pat of butter?
Give them that pat. Yes,
Butter.
absolutely.
Give them a little pat of butter. Butter. It just made me think of
It was
that.
also the theme song to Law and Order SVU.
I did not know that initially.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have a technical question.
Yes.
Wawa has a campaign right now for these grilled paninis.
Oh my God, my daughter loves them.
Right. And they look terrific. They look like they're a lot.
Yeah.
One of the grilled paninis is grilled with mac and cheese.
That's her favorite.
Okay. Is that a grilled cheese sandwich?
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, it's a panini.
Wait a second.
I'd call it a grilled. Well, it's not grilled because it's
a panini.
Well, it depends
it's
on.
not ciabatta, it's panini.
Right, I know, but it depends on whether they butter or use oil to
I have a follow-up question.
Now there's
Does it
I
involve
know they
dragons?
put it in a panini press. Maybe that is considered that because it may be a grilled cheese with pasta.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You
Now, do you think, follow-up question, Wawa would send us some so we could sample them on there?
Well, a panini press is a.
It's kind of a grilled cheese, right?
No, it's a whole different sandwich. It's a panini.
Now, let me ask you guys this, because
Says Master Chef. Master Chef Kathy Romano.
just a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, I came to this amazing
country
revelation of using leftover meatballs, and I make a grilled cheese meatball sandwich. Now, I don't necessarily consider it a meatball first sandwich. I consider it a grilled cheese sandwich first.
With meatballs.
With meatballs, because what I'll do is I cut up the meatballs, I cook them in the microwave, then I put them on, the cheesed bread, but I use provolone cheese, and then I use the sauce to taste, not overly sauce it. but like sauce to taste, and then I grill that with the butter and all that. And I'm telling you, it is amazing.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the way to get creative with grilled cheese is using the different types of cheese. Once you start to add in elements
like meat,
you're on your way to a
it.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that,
You know what
Steve.
I'm
I think
saying?
it takes it. I think
So
it
it's a meatball sandwich and not a grilled cheese.
I think so. I
Okay.
think that once you add meat, that's the main ingredient.
Right.
That has become the main
The
ingredient.
cheese needs to be the star.
The cheese needs to be the star.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You don't have to
That's
be
the name of my book.
And tell us about your book, The Cheese Needs to Be the Star. Well, it's really pretty much a look back at my career in radio.
Preston, have you seen the number of texts coming in saying that one should use mayo instead of butter?
There's a guy on the line right or girl.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I have not dared to try
I rebuke you.
No.
I've not dared to try it, but that is a technique. So we have a few people. Let me go to Dave
right.
here. Hi, Dave. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Not much. Yeah, mayo is it. It doesn't tear the bread like butter would, and it fries up crisp.
Well, mayo is also,
It's a wholly different flavor than butter, though.
It would make.
You know what I mean?
I would have to try it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll do it today.
Yeah, I would have to try it. So
I like it's odd because Steve, I do like mayonnaise, but the idea of searing it like that seems kind of gross.
There are a lot of eggs in mayo. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's eggs and oil.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you got both ingredients. Yeah, you know what?
But
I would
there's
have
no
to
eggs
try
and
it.
butter.
Ooh.
There's no eggs and
And
butter
you
though.
can't tune a fish.
If you
Yeah.
don't tune your butt.
You know,
I don't know.
dated a girl for a hot minute who they made their French toast with
Thanks, Dave.
cheese. And so now I'm wondering if you were to make a grilled cheese and then kind of coat everything in the egg wash.
Wait,
the same way
Well,
you
it's a
would.
Monte Cristo sandwich is
Okay.
made that way.
All
It's
right.
French toast, and then in between is cheese and turkey, and then apple slices.
What would they do, Casey?
She would make, and I never had it. We didn't date long enough for me to try her.
Yeah.
But they would do their
Have you
French
tasted
toast.
my daughter's sandwich?
They would do French toast with cheese.
French toast with cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
I don't. Well, not with syrup. I mean, but if it was a grilled cheese like French toast style, I'd do that.
All right, hang on. I'm going to go to Jenna because she does the mayo technique as well. Hi, Jenna. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Wonderful. All right, Jenna, what is it that's so much better with mayonnaise instead of butter?
It's just the flavor of it. I don't know. I grew up eating mayonnaise on every single sandwich, and my son likes just cheese sandwiches with mayonnaise, and it's easier just to throw it in the frying pan and say, hey, here's a grilled cheese. And he's not a big fan of butter, so that was the big difference there.
Okay.
But you can also use bacon grease. I don't know if Kathy remembers the Conshohocken Cafe that was on Fayette Street. I worked there all through college and everything, and we used to use bacon grease for our grilled cheeses, too.
That's a great idea. We used to save our bacon grease when I was a kid growing up.
And drink it in the morning.
No, we would not drink it. 9 minutes after 10 o'clock.
Well, that's how the week tilts when you hit the middle mark.
Yes, most definitely. I want to thank Ryan Shuttleworth, who gave us some fresh music to use for these badass bumper beds. This is what we call the music going in and out of our segments. And Ryan's a bit of a metalhead, and I'm like, dude, dig some stuff up.
He knows his stuff.
And he found us some goodies, so appreciate that, Ryan. All right, we're going to be giving away via the lesson question a pair of tickets to see David Lee Roth Tuesday, May 19th at the Keswick Theater. You can get your tickets today at keswicktheater.com. And the question that we will pose to you is this. Let me see here. All right, while he puts his nail clippings in the toilet, where does Steve like to poop? 610-660-9333. That was something from 7:30 this morning. All right.
Just a personal preference.
If you were listening, while he puts his nail clippings in the toilet, where does he poop? All right. You heard it from Steve earlier this morning, 7:30. If you know the answer, call. And you just might win those tickets to see Dave. We'll do the trash while you're calling.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll get some stories. Let's see what's up. Steve, what you got?
Well, Preston, Glenn Powell met up with his new girlfriend, landman bombshell Michelle Randolph, at a Golden Globes after party. Michelle immediately won over the crowd by handing out complimentary boners. Country star Zach Bryan's new album called With Heaven on Top already streaming over 5 million times on Spotify. Brian says it's his most personal work yet, dealing with a girl who done him wrong, or a pickup truck, or moonshine, or some crap.
Oh, my God.
And finally, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce grabbing dinner at the trendy new Beverly Hills restaurant Funky on Monday night. To give the mega-famous couple some privacy, patrons already dining at Funky were gently euthanized with carbon monoxide. And that's your Hollywood Trap.
Here we go for somebody to get a prize. We go to the phones and see if we know where Steve likes to poop, because we know he puts his nail clippings in the toilet. But we're going to go to Kathy, see if we can get that answer. Hi there, Kathy. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Awesome, Kathy. All right, so Steve puts his...
so excited.
Well, good. I'm happy that you're on board for this. All right, Steve puts his nail clippings in the toilet. Where does he poop?
In the trash can.
The trash can. Yes.
Civilized people do.
That's right. Kathy, hang on. We are going to give you tickets to see David Lee Roth on Tuesday, May 19th at the Keswick Theater. You can get your tickets today at keswicktheater.com. All right, let's get to music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, few things to mention in music news, and we will start with the fact that The Sun reports that Metallica are 90% done with negotiations to bring the band to the Sphere in Las Vegas for a 2027 residency. It's The Sun. They kind of play light and loose with the facts, so you never know. Sources tell the Brit tabloid that Metallica having a residency at the Sphere is all anyone is talking about on the Strip. They've been to see the bosses and met all the tech teams to talk through the plan and plan out a show in principle.
I think they're totally suited for this, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
This has got to sit well within your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, this would absolutely work for them. In my hand is my wallet. Take my wallet. I will have to be there. Like, I would kill to see them at the Sphere. Just what they bring to a stadium and make everybody in that stadium feel included, they could absolutely do at the Sphere.
What was that movie they did? I have it. It's on. They released it in 3D, and it was sort of a concept movie.
It's called Through the Never.
That's it. Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, Dane DeHaan in that one.
So, I mean, their music is well suited to the imagery that they could create, on the Sphere. Lars Ulrich had said a while back, it's something that we are looking into at some point when the 2026 tour is done. He also added the band would love to play there. So I'm sure they're talking about it.
Here's what they could do, honestly, if they want to save some money. Just splice Lars into the role of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
That'll make it
a
Metallica show. So Don Was, the great producer, his show with the Pan Detroit Ensemble at Ardmore Music Hall on Wednesday was always going to be in part a tribute to the music of the Grateful Dead, along with the new album that he has, Groove in the Face of Adversity. The date will also include a performance of the Dead's 1975 album Blues for Allah in its entirety. And, of course, we just lost Bob Weir. So this is the timing is actually wonderful for those who are big fans of the Dead and want to see, some tribute to it. He, by the way, Don Was, if you're not familiar with him, he is president of the esteemed Blue Note Records jazz label and the former co-leader of art pop band Was Not Was, who is best known for their hit Walk the Dinosaur. His long list of production credits, though, include Bonnie Raitt, the Rolling Stones, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, tons and tons. I actually ran into him in New Orleans one time, and Marilyn and I were together. In that stack of photos I brought in the other day, I had a picture of us with Don Was. He also toured extensively with Bob Weir, playing bass with Wolf Brothers, the band formed in 2018, whose repertoire mixed country and jazz with the Dead's mystical roots. And music blend, roots music blend. So he's no stranger to that.
Do you know what's funny? In as you look back, obviously at the Grateful Dead, and Pierre Robert for me was somebody who, for the longest time, I would associate. That's a guy who's a Grateful Dead fan. Mm-hmm. But the people who come out of the woodwork that are, completely buttoned down, you wouldn't even think of them being Grateful Dead, and like rabid Grateful Dead fans, it's staggering.
Well, I wouldn't call him rabid, but Jackie Bam Bam used to go tour.
Really?
With the Dead, yeah. He used to sell
I would not see
stickers
him.
and
He was a Deadhead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Fleetwood Mac's 1975 studio recording of Landslide has finally reached the Billboard Hot 100 over 50 years since it came out.
I know what did it.
What?
Stranger Things?
Yeah, the track debuted on the chart at the 41 spot after it appeared during the finale of Stranger Things. And that helped the song get a massive 7 million streams in the U.S. in 1 week, while also getting some extra love in radio airplay and downloads being sold. So the song was actually never released as an official single in 1975.
It's kind of a mind blow. You know, we talk about how music released in staggered viewing times, it makes the whole experience of getting this stuff a little bit insular, like you're not sharing it. But knowing that it's attached to Stranger Things, as it did with Running Up That Hill, Kate Bush, it makes it, in a way, again, that communal thing.
Yeah.
I'll stop prattling on about the communal thing eventually.
No, it's a good thing. All right, I was happy to see this. James Taylor has announced a 2-leg, 29-show U.S. tour running from April through September. The tour begins in California, includes multi-night stops in Vegas. He's not going to be in Philadelphia as what I see, but he is going to be at playing Hershey June 25th, and then he's at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City on June 27th.
I've seen him many times in concert. Some of my favorite concert times were James Taylor.
I believe it.
And I mean, so there's a venue up in Long Island, the Jones Beach Theater, which is an amphitheater right on the water. And you got to figure on a warm summer night with that voice, with that catalog, it doesn't get better than that.
Tickets go on sale 10 a.m. local time on Friday. Five Finger Death Punch, opening for James Taylor. No, they've announced a 48-city North American tour to celebrate their 20th anniversary, and the trek kicks off July 20th in Camden, New Jersey.
There you go.
Yeah. The tour will feature new songs from the band's upcoming 10th album, along with their biggest hits. Plus, a part of ticket sales will support USA Judo and USA Cycling BMX teams ahead of the 2028 Olympics. Yeah, more international dates are going to be announced later. Tickets go on sale Friday. They're also going to be playing Hershey on July 25th.
Hershey gets a lot of shows, man.
They do.
Yeah, buddy.
Here's a follow-up story for you. We told you last month that Ethan Brown, the 52-year-old son of Jackson Brown, had passed away. We now know the official cause of death, according to records released by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner yesterday. Ethan died on November 25th from the effects of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and lidocaine. While his father is, of course, legendary musician, Ethan chose a different path. He was a model and actor, going on to star alongside Angelina Jolie in 1995's Hackers and with Kate Hudson in the 2004 film Raising Helen. So it's terrible news.
He's
obviously.
a super good-looking guy. I was looking to see if he'd done anything more recently in the acting realm. It didn't appear that he had, and it appeared that maybe the addiction had gotten a hold on him for a while, which is so sad.
It's quite possible.
So actually, Jackson Brown has figured prominently when I've had death in my life, getting me through it. And here he is, his own son.
Yeah, now he's got to look for somebody to get him through that. And then finally, Barbecue. Tickets on sale. The show is Saturday, May 9th, at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Godsmack, Alice Cooper, The Hooters, Everclear. The general admission portion of the day includes Des Rocks, Cami Keogh, Lilac, and our MMR Local Shots artists, the Circus Hearts. Of course, Side Stage, the Preston and Steve Show Side Stage back with live band karaoke with the band Sidearm. Jackie Bam Bam's doing a set. We're working on some other things for that. Tickets are on sale now. Get those at WMMR. Get the information, WMMR.com. You can get the tickets at Ticketmaster.
Should this be the event where we roll out Preston Elliott's World of Illusion?
My magic show?
Yeah.
Your magic show.
You can cut me in half if you want.
Can we?
Yeah.
So
I just thought the magic would kick in.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right, and that's all I have in music news for you. A reminder, the big friggin' deal is with our friends at Camelback Mountain, and we have your chance to get the open to close lift ticket for $40 for Camelback. Limited time offer, so while they last, and that is it. So WMMR.com/deals. That's where you find all the great stuff. And it's 12 hours to enjoy their 39 trails, fully lit skiing at night, and high-speed lifts and all that stuff in the wonderful resort. So get that now, WMMR.com/deals. We are taking a break. We will come back and wrap up the show with the letter of the day for the word of the week when we return. Stay put. use it to as a base to cook things with, a la, shortening or
it was a standard.
lard
we had
or whatever.
We had those jars, mason jars. Yes,
that's what we keep it.
Standard.
Or like an old jelly jar or something like that.
And my mother used to hollow out a bagel and keep her birth control pills.
Oh
in
my
it.
God!
Oh my God! Did
So
you ever
unique.
It's just a thing you used to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Southern.
Did you? Okay, this is a two-part question. And what are your thoughts on mustard, whether it be yellow mustard or spicy mustard on your grilled cheese? And what do you consider a grilled ham and cheese? Is that still grilled cheese, or are we going into the other territory?
You're raising a good point with the ham inclusion. I still believe that the cheese, as per Preston's best-selling novel, the cheese is the star.
I would never say that. I would never say a grilled cheese with ham.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a grilled ham and cheese.
Exactly.
So ham takes top billing.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a grilled cheese anymore.
It does take top, but you have to do that with mustard, right? Grilled ham and cheese with mustard. Yeah.
You don't have to be a star to be in my sandwich.
No.
And you know what's oddly is good on that is a little bit of pineapple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Come over.
Yeah.
I should probably try that today.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. See if Wawa can do that.
So I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'll ask you a question.
Mustard?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think mustard with a grilled cheese can be good.
Yeah.
But it's great all by itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Spicy brown, though, right?
I could do either, but I prefer spicy brown.
Especially if ham is involved.
I'm going with Casey's take on that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on? I'm sorry to do this. Grilled peanut butter and jelly.
No,
because I know we're talking about grilled cheese.
That's like a hot pocket. And I
would say unequivocally,
back to hell, demon.
Go suck it.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
No, the idea of that. No, it
That's
doesn't.
that's not a grilled cheese at all. It's not. There's no
not.
cheese.
It's
not
not.
certainly. You know what? It's not.
In
It's
fact,
not a full
I'm gonna see
traditional
myself out.
turkey dinner.
I find it disrespectful that on National Grilled Cheese Day that you would even raise that question.
I'm begging for your forgiveness.
Why don't you go into a synagogue and say, "What if Jesus was the son?"
All right,
You don't do that.
we were overrun with mayonnaise phone calls.
Do we go in depth? Do we go a current affair on this?
Well, Jared had a moment at a restaurant. Hi, Jared. Hi, Jared. You're on the air. Good morning.
You guys rock.
Thank you, man. All right, what's the incident that happened with the mayonnaise?
So I used to run a restaurant back in the day, and they were getting really behind, and it was like a grilled cheese day that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I got back there, and we had like fresh churned butter, so it was like real soft. Well, I messed up, and I put mayo on all these grilled cheeses, put them down, sent them out. Well, I ended up coming back, and they were like, oh, like they were the best grilled cheese we ever had. Come to find out, I put mayo on all of them.
All of
So
them.
that actually became our biggest seller.
So that was your signature grilled cheese sandwich was prepared with mayo. To your own personal taste, do you like it better?
I wouldn't say it's better, but it gives it a bite. Like you use it with like Cooper Sharp cheese, like it's completely different.
Huh.
So like we did a different thing. We actually did a condiment grilled cheese. So if you wanted mustard on it, we actually did mustard on the grill, and that hardens up real nice. It gets a real a real crispy bite.
On the outside of it, you did mustard and then grilled it?
Yep. And it actually comes out really good.
Cray.
All right. Interesting.
I'm concerned now about the number of restaurants that are bringing sandwiches like this to us.
Yes.
And what that will do.
We need to spread it out.
Too many.
We need, really.
All right, so Steven actually sent me a few grilled cheese from Food Network, grilled cheese recipes, and there's a few of them here that I've done before and like to have from time to time. Grilled tomato and cheese, I think, is a great one.
That's a standard, and I do love that one.
Well, now the tomato's taking top billing there, Preston.
No, it's
No.
not.
You said grilled
Well,
tomato
you're
and
right.
cheese.
It says grilled tomato and cheese.
I would say grilled
call it a
cheese
grilled
and
cheese
tomato.
with tomato.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There is a grilled cheese with bacon. You can put it on there,
And that's grilled cheese with bacon.
which is awesome. Cheddar and apple grilled cheese.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you ever
Bacon.
have like apple slices and cheese together, that's, or fruit and cheese, that can work
Makes
out
it
nicely.
healthy.
A sandwich you can eat on the run.
Smoked Gouda and roasted red pepper grilled cheese.
Do I like Gouda?
I like
you do.
Gouda, yeah.
You like Gouda a lot.
All right.
You know, you'll find good Gouda, Abu Dhabi.
I have a story in the bizarre file with Abu Dhabi coming up in a
I'm
while.
thinking a grilled brie would be
Yes.
yummy.
I've had it.
A grilled ham and brie.
Yes.
Was fantastic.
On a baguette.
Oh my God!
So good.
Nick, my wife makes a it's an app she'll put out at parties, but it's brie and it's grilled in or it's baked in like a challah,
like a baked brie.
Yeah.
And it gets all runny
and
and
there's a
gooey.
little bit of raspberry or something too.
Yeah, but you know what, Steve? It's got that protective shell on the outside.
And it gives it cohesion.
God bless that shell.
Hang on a second here. Let me go to Garrett has a recipe. Hi, Garrett. Good morning.
Yo, good morning. Sorry to bother you guys at work.
Nah, brother. What's up?
Yeah, so check it out. So a couple years ago, I was getting creative in the kitchen, and I was making a grilled cheese, and I was like, you know what? I want to get a little creative here. So I scratched the cheese entirely, and I had some leftover buffalo chicken dip from the football game before, and I spread that on there, just made it like a normal grilled cheese. Actually, the same way Casey does. Like, I take the slab of butter, throw it down, then I kind of like mush it around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like swirl it around. But, dude, I'm telling you, that is a banging sandwich.
So
I love buffalo.
I guess buffalo chicken dip has cream cheese in it, so that's technically in the cheese family.
Well, we throw some cheddar cheese in our buffalo chicken dip, too, so kind of
Okay.
we get in there.
Speaking as someone who has
Interesting. Thank you,
now
Garrett.
about 160 packets of Star-Kissed buffalo, I love that
Buffalo tuna?
But the buffalo tuna is great. The buffalo dip in
buffalo dip. I'm
every
sorry.
application, that buffalo flavor, whatever it is. You said it has cream cheese in it. I didn't know that.
The dips usually do.
Yeah, delicious.
I will say that Panera, they sometimes can hit or miss on some of their things, but consistently their tomato soup and their grilled cheese is good.
So
I agree.
What's the new What's the new sandwich that they're
the Panera?
They mentioned a type of pepper. It's like a
Freshy pepper?
It's you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the thing?
Is
For
it
this
like-
new-
like-
it's like a new like a Mediterranean.
You know what, Steve? They should probably send us samples.
I'm intrigued.
Yes,
Is it,
it's a new thing that they're pushing.
Wouldn't
and
be
it's
a
got
poblano pepper, would it?
no, I don't know, but it is a red pepper that apparently has this incredibly exotic, wonderful taste.
Okay, wait, like a vegetable or like the crushed red pepper?
A vegetable.
No, like a vegetable pepper.
Side note, stuffed peppers. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah,
Like you
well,
can put
we should
sausage
have
in
a
there.
restaurant called Sergeant Pepper.
Well, listen, it's sort of offensive that you bring it up on grilled cheese day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean,
I said side note.
Stay in your lane, buddy. All right, roasted poblano and mushroom grilled cheese.
No poblano.
I like a poblano.
I do like poblano.
I like it the poblano.
I like saying poblano. Fun syllables.
I come
know what-
from
you know
the
what
village of Poblano.
Do you know what a smoked poblano is? An ancho chili.
Oh.
If you ever see ancho chili.
I don't know why I
Ancho
reacted
cheese.
like that. Yeah.
I believe so.
That ain't your cheese.
Wait, so it's the same thing?
It's the same thing, but it's smoked. It's prepared differently, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Here, this one sounds interesting. Grilled cheese with everything bagel seasoning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, in or on?
Don't know. I would have to click on the recipe, and it would take me off of this.
right.
This is just the names of them.
I
So
think
it's
at Trader Joe's you can get the seasoning that's just called everything but the bagel.
Yep.
And it's terrific.
Yes, I agree.
But one of the best, so there was maybe you've had it as well, Nick, over at Harvest. They would do like a cedar plank salmon, but it would be crusted with the everything bagel crust.
I love a crust.
Oh, yeah.
Grilled cheese.
Look at me bringing that up on Grilled Cheese Day.
Yeah. Spicy grilled cheese.
Okay.
So you can use, like a jalapeno
Or pepper
cheddar,
jack or something.
Pepper jack, yeah.
No, but I'll do like a diced jalapeno.
Okay.
We actually, oh, God, never mind. Sorry. I was doing the Casey thing, and I'm not going to do it now.
You were going to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay.
My refrigerator's
Well,
blue.
now I'm intrigued.
Okay. Well, good. Because this is, my wife made hash brown casserole last night for dinner.
This is a recipe that we shared with Casey's family. And,
And it's
they love it.
amazing. And I was really digging it. And I thought, ooh, you know what would be really great in this? Diced jalapeno.
Tuesday morning, the Preston and Steve Show coming to the end of a program. A very enjoyable day today. Weather-wise, cloudy but warm. High of about 53. Is going to be getting colder the next couple of days. We will see a return of some blue skies, but high tomorrow 39, high on Friday 34, and then it's just not looking that great. But you know what? I mean,
January.
Knock on wood. We haven't had anything horrible yet. There hasn't been a great blizzard of 96 that's happened.
Jesus, yeah. You ever feel like, I hate dealing with this? Take a look at those archival pictures. Unbelievable.
The only time we want a big blanket of snow is on March 6th.
Yeah.
Actually, March 5th, the day before, leading into Cardboard Classic. Then we'll take it. And that can just be in Scranton as far as I'm concerned.
So they let them deal with it.
That's all we need. Hey, I would like to thank, it was nice to talk to Mike and Alex this morning on Fox News Day. Lovely conversation with those guys. And then we had a good, 40-minute chat with the amazing Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Who you can talk to him about just about anything.
He's just great.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy. That's all there is to it. And he regrets not being in Philadelphia for a little while. He's like, I got to get back there. So hopefully that chat we had with him will motivate him to get some dates on the books.
Right, reflecting upon, I had my notes from the last time he was here and brought up it was, 2020, and he realized we were the second to last, if not the last, stand-up show he did prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nice to chat with him. We got Matt Cord here.
Morning, guys.
Nice to see you, Matt.
Ladies.
How you doing?
Hi.
Wait, so he started on MTV, right? On Singled Out? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a show called Trashed, I think he did right before that.
Do you remember that they would bring in, people would bring in their own possessions. And so if they lost, those possessions would be smashed or set on fire.
That was on MTV?
It was on MTV.
Wow.
Yeah. Singled Out was the big breakout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. Carmen Electra was on that, right? And Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny
one of them,
Yeah.
Over for Jenny McCarthy,
Yeah. I remember that show.
Singled Out.
Preston,
and,
did you, I heard you the other day, did you give up alcohol for January, or were you doing
I was doing what now I know that people are calling it damp January, if you will, or I prefer moist January. But yes, Fridays only. That's my
Friday?
That's what I'm doing.
So you can't drink on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Fridays and Saturdays.
Just Friday only.
Friday.
I can, but I'm planning not to.
What was it that you told me that your wife did like Lent, but before Christmas?
Oh, Patty Ann gave up alcohol for Advent.
I'd never heard anyone giving something up for Advent.
Well, it's not 40 days, so it's a little bit, maybe
easier.
a little bit easier.
Not many people do.
24 days.
Pretty religious.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't in on that one. In fact, I'm not even in on Dry January. We went to, there's a hotel open up near our complex the other day, last Monday. And we go there to get some food. I'm like, I'll have a martini. It's like first Monday in January.
In fact, you make sure that you drink on Monday.
Yeah, it's kind of my motivator for being good during the week. And I'm like, okay, if you're good, you can drink on Friday,
Get your little treat.
That type of thing.
Yeah. But you don't drink during the week. Getting up in the morning.
He drinks during the show.
2025, I drank during the week.
You did.
Quite a bit, yeah.
That's a lot harder getting up.
It's harder
when I was
getting
doing
up.
mornings, one drink, I could tell the next day. It was like,
Big time. But I soldiered through.
Dude,
That's what I did.
We used to do events like we'd have appearances.
God.
And you remember it'd always be a Thursday. Not obviously I'm not drinking, but these guys
I'd get banged up,
and it was just crazy radio.
Yep.
All right, let's do it again.
Right? Yeah. Old time's sake when we have them.
You'll find out at Cardboard Classic.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited.
All right, here we go with the letter of the day, Matt.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
X as in...
Xylophone.
Xylophone.
Yeah, but that sounds like a Z.
How about X, the band?
Yeah, the band.
X, there you go. X, there you go.
X-ray.
X-ray, there you go.
So we have, and very rarely do we get an X in the letter of the day. This is cool. So
Where do
we
you
got
see the word.
4-pack of tickets for Ensemble Arts Philly's upcoming Broadway series show Clue, coming to the Forest Theater. That'll be January 20th. The winner also gets a $200 gift card for our friends at Bud and Maryland's for dinner. And Clue is the ultimate whodunit that will leave you dying of laughter and keep you guessing until the final twist. You can get your tickets today for shows running from January 20th through the 25th at ensembleartsphilly.com. So getting close to give that away. What's up on today's program?
We have a block of the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl's birthday today. How old is he, Ryan?
57.
Is he 57? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
How old is he?
58. No, I thought it was 57. I knew he was almost in the same age range as me.
All right, Foo Fighters, Bad Company block, and a block of the Kings of Leon.
Caleb's birthday today.
It's
too.
Caleb's birthday, yeah. And Vinyl Cut, Pierce Vinyl Cut, David Lee Roth, very first
Crazy from the Heat.
solo EP.
Yeah.
4 songs. Easy Street, California Girls, Just a Gigolo, and Coconut Grove.
Is it Steve Vai on that?
No, you know who's on it? God, what's his name? He used to be Letterman's the guitar player with Paul Schaefer.
Oh.
Will Lee was a bassist.
Yeah,
but, I don't know who played guitar.
No, you'll know this name.
He's really good.
Sid McGuinness.
Oh, so
Not familiar.
Sid McGinnis on guitar, but backing vocals on California Girls, Carl Wilson and Christopher Cross.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes, synthesizer, Edgar Winter.
Shut up. Who was playing drums? Just anybody, a name you've ever heard of?
Drums, John Robinson.
No, don't know the name.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Look at the picture. Matt has the album, but actually Roth's picture on the back of that. Yeah.
Dave's short hair, or
looks
just
like
pulled
David
back.
Copperfield.
I think he was still in Van Halen at the time of this.
He
record.
was.
Yeah.
It was part of the reason that it's not necessarily their full-on breakup, but Dave started to look at avenues to go elsewhere, and the band was like, dude.
Produced by Ted Templeton, so he's a Van Halen
that was
guy.
their producer. Yeah. Interesting.
Anyway.
All right, that'll be solid. Thank you, Matt.
You're
I
welcome.
want to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and also Dunkin'. And the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Tomorrow's pre-Friday, and we're working on some stuff for you, so we'll get it all together and have it tomorrow morning. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day. See you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.